Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our number one priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro, we are the professional office systems people.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington.
Can you be quiet, please? Thank you.
Welcome to Pirate Radio Live.
It's me, Nancy Garcia.
Clip. Hey, man, good to see you, brother.
Excitement time.
Clam down! Clam down! Clam down! Clam down!
Pirates are going dancing, baby!
They picked us last. They picked us last. And now we're going dancing. We're going dancing.
How about those friggin' Pirates?
Now live from the Pirate Radio studios in the heart of the Pirate Nation, here is your host, Clip Brock.
All right, welcome in to a Monday edition of Pirate Radio Live. Clip Brock here inside the Pirate Radio studios, coming to you today on Pirate Radio 92.7 FM in Greenville, 104.1 in Washington. You can find us on 1250, 930, online, pr927fm.com. And I believe we are back up and running on Facebook Live and YouTube. There's a lot of technical behind-the-scenes things going on, but thanks to Wes and Shirley and Big Dog and everybody chipping in, we are getting those fixed and ready to go. It looks like we are rolling today, so you can chime in on Facebook Live and YouTube and be a part of today's program. No Delcor Players Lounge today because the Pirates are practicing on a Monday ahead of NC State coming to town on Tuesday, hoping to catch up with Garrett Saylor, Carter Spivey, and Josh Groves on Wednesday's edition of Pirate Radio Live. We'll have more Delcor Players Lounge coming up later on this week, but we do have a packed show for you on this Monday, including Ellerby's chat with Dale Murphy. The Murph was in town at the Murphy Center and at Tiebreakers on Sunday. Awesome day. We'll recap that day in just a moment and everything that transpired, and you'll hear an interview with Dale coming up at 4 o'clock. Double B Brian Bailey joins us in the second hour as well. And former Pirate first baseman Bryce Harman is now a scout in the Philadelphia Phillies organization, and I saw him at Clark LeClaire a couple of weeks ago. We're going to get him on the show to talk about his playing days here at ECU and what he's up to today, as he is carving out a niche for himself in the scouting world. So we'll catch up with Bryce Harman coming up at 5 o'clock. Also, in about 30 minutes, we're scheduled to talk to John Rosengren. He is the author of The Greatest Summer in Baseball History. And what is the greatest summer in baseball history? Is it
all-day baseball games?
That would be Ellerby's greatest summer. But, like, I don't know, Sosa McGuire, or he is talking about 1973. And I get you get these emails, Ellerby, about guest ideas, and usually I check them out and say, all right, probably not for me or the audience or anything. But I found this one interesting. It was like, all right, yeah, let's get them on. 1973, and the bullet points, and he goes into detail in the book, but talked about Hank Aaron's, his home run race and all that going on. George Steinbrenner purchased the Yankees that season, which led to championships and a dynasty. The American League went to the DH, which kind of broke ranks with the National League. Pete Rose edged out Willie Stargell in apparently a controversial MVP race. Reggie Jackson, MVP World Series. Just a lot of stuff happened.
Is anything with Pete Rose's name just on the up and up? Or is it just like, Pete Rose did this, and there's always a controversy?
I wonder if he bet on Willie Stargell winning the MVP or bet on himself. I don't know. But just a lot of interesting things happened. So talk a little baseball history, 50-year anniversary of that 73 season. And John Rosengren will join us to talk about that. So got that coming up. Shirley Rhodes is here. Chandler Honeycutt as well. And Ellerby is to my left. Hello, everyone. Hello, Ellerby.
What's up, Clipper?
What's up?
How we doing over there, Shirley? Everything good?
So far, so good.
A lot going on behind the scenes, but we're up and running and rolling here on a Monday, so good stuff. All right, Jonathan, awesome job by you, and in correlation with that, awesome job by us as well and everyone.
It was a full team effort.
Everything seemed to go smooth yesterday, and I know it led to a lot of very happy Braves fans, Dale Murphy fans, and just baseball fans in the area who were able to take part in the VIP event at Tiebreakers and then the dinner with Murph at the Murphy Center, because a lot of smiling faces, a lot of pictures on social media today. A lot of adults got to meet their hero and also kind of tell their kid, hey, this guy was a great ball player back in the day. Also, Ellerby, and you'll speak to it, the legend is true. Dale Murphy, one of the greatest guys ever.
Yeah, obviously a two-time National League MVP, but definitely an all-time MVP in the game of life. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever run across another former athlete as nice as Dale Murphy. I mean, the guy was so accommodating and was super friendly. And, I mean, MVP is this. About 24 hours before this event was supposed to happen, I got a text from his wife that his direct flight from Salt Lake City, Utah to Raleigh had been canceled. And they started working it. And they rebooked him on 4 different flights. He flew from Salt Lake City to Austin, from Austin to Houston, from Houston to Atlanta, and then Sunday morning from Atlanta to Raleigh. So his flight got canceled within 6 hours, and they made it happen. A lot of people could have just been like, hey, we're going to have to reschedule. Not the way the Murphys roll. I mean, his wife had been a gem to work with all up until that point. But when she sent me, and I got this long text, just giving you a heads up, you know, my stomach dropped a little bit because it's kind of hard to have a Dale Murphy event without Dale Murphy. Yeah. But clip carry, I don't know if he could have filled the shoes of Dale Murphy, but absolutely.
Boy, the booing and tomatoes thrown and vitriol, if that were to happen.
Yeah.
Good grief.
And Dale, funny, here's how nice Dale Murphy was. He was like, I was this close. If the flights weren't going to, we couldn't get one to work, I was going to call Bruce Benedict and see if he would come up and pinch hit for me for a little bit, and then we would reschedule. So, I mean, what a guy. I mean, we're going to get, he was thinking, one more step above it all. That's the kind of person that people got to interact with when we had the Dale Murphy event. And thanks to Tiebreakers for hosting the VIP meet and greet. And, of course, all the people that bought tickets and tables that came out to the Murphy Center. Dale was like, when he got done speaking, he drove to the Masters last night. He was going to – it's the first time he's ever gone to Augusta National, and he was going today with somebody that he met at an event last year that just wanted to invite him to go to the Masters. But he said, oh, man, I'll stay afterwards and talk to him. And sure enough, he did. He hung around the Murphy Center and basically walked out with me and the last few people that were still in the Murphy Center. But he was just an incredible person. And he had a funny story about the Masters. I don't know if you heard it, but he was like, one time when he was with the Braves, he was like, I was like, I can't believe you've never been to the Masters. Then, of course, it dawned on me. He was like, well, it's always around opening day. But he's like, one time they did ride up there in a van. He was like, it was, the way he tells it, was like, it was me, Necro, Benedict. He was rolling off 4 or 5 players. And they pulled up on the grounds, and they asked him if they had tickets. So there's a van full of Braves.
MVP.
All the guys from the 80s.
Yeah.
And they turned them around because they didn't have tickets. So, I mean, that's how tough – that was back in the 80s. I mean, that's how tough it is to get into the Masters. But he had all sorts of great stories. And I did an interview with him on Sunday. And we're going to run that here at the top of the hour number 2. But it was an incredible event. And as I said, it was a lot of fun. And I'm glad we were able to do it. And I appreciate everybody here at Pirate Radio that helped pull it off.
He had played in the state of North Carolina before. He said he recognized some names rolling in here. Said he played in Rocky Mount before and some other towns and
Durham,
cities. And
played against the Bulls
at North Carolina. So that was cool. He said that if he said he's not planning on moving, but if he did, Greenville would be a nice spot. We had a great weather day for him yesterday. He didn't experience the heat or the cold rain that we've had here. So, it was a perfect weather day, but really liked his time around here. Really seemed to like, East Carolina, Greenville, the area. And you walked into Tiebreakers and you walked into the Murphy Center yesterday. You saw all kinds of Braves jerseys, hats. So this is a lot of places in the country are probably Braves country, but definitely Eastern North Carolina and North Carolina.
Yeah, my wife told me a funny story when he first got to the Murphy Center, and it was funny that it was the Murphy Center and Dale Murphy, but he was walking up the stairs, and there was a guy and his son, a guy about our age, and a young son, maybe 9 or 10, that were walking. They were kind of looking for the bathroom, and they both had Braves jersey on, and Dale Murphy walks in and goes, "Hey, great jerseys, guys!" And I thinking about gave those guys a heart attack because they were like, "Holy cow!" It's like Dale Murphy. It's like it was kind of a funny moment. One of the stories my wife was able to tell me about the event, but there was all sorts of his speech was great too.
Yeah,
he had a lot of good points about being a great teammate no matter where you are, and relationships and believing in people. And certainly it was a fun day. The one thing, my son plays baseball, of course, and I thought one of his good advice / funny one-liners was, "Hey, always swing hard, because just in case you might hit it."
Yeah.
So good advice. So I told Hunter, just swing hard, just in case you hit it.
Yeah, advice from a legend, Dale Murphy. So really awesome. I enjoyed the Q&A portion where he's telling old stories about his playing days and who he hated facing, his favorite teammates, all that. So it was great.
The one with Glavine was funny. When Murphy got traded to the Phillies, he told a funny story how Bobby Cox, because they had thrown the Phillies had thrown at Otis Nixon. And
because Otis Nixon was the unwritten rule, stealing bases when they were up big or something like that.
It was one of the unwritten baseball rules. And so Dale Murphy, so Bobby Cox was like, when Glavine came in, he was like, "All right, you're going to hit the next guy up." And so Glavine was like, "All right." And he went over, looked at the lineup card, and he was like, "Hey, Dale Murphy's up," because Dale Murphy had been traded to the Phillies. He's like, "Murph's up next." And Bobby Cox was like, "Don't care." Basically.
What I remember about that story, too, is Glavine was upset with Bobby Cox. Like, he just wanted to pitch the game, keep going.
Right.
He got ejected, and he was upset that he was made to hit Dale Murphy. I remember that part of the story.
And Dale Murphy was kind of funny. He says, "I was in the batter's box, and the first one came in a little tight. I was like, oh, okay." Then the second one came in. I backed up a little bit.
Yeah.
Then
Glavine was throwing like lollipops to him.
Yeah. Then Dale was like, "Oh, I get it now."
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, I'm the bounce back guy here," or whatever. So it was. He had some just really good stories, and man, it was fun. Those 80s Braves and all the stuff that went on. It was a lot. It was a special treat.
And we got to watch baseball with Dale Murphy. We got to watch Braves baseball with Dale Murphy, and they lost their first game of the season to the Nationals thanks to former Pirate commit Mackenzie Gore. Great starting outing for the left-hander against the Braves yesterday, and the Nationals beat the Braves. Also, at the same time, we're watching Houston beat ECU in a game that went back and forth. We had to leave to go to the Murphy Center before the conclusion of that game. Kind of typical of the entire series. Just it wasn't good baseball because there was a lot of errors on ECU's part, but all 1 or 2 run games, all back and forth, all going down to the late innings. And rough week for the Pirates as they go 1-3. I'll say this: the polls seem to like ECU more than ECU fans do right now. There's a lot of upset folks in the Pirate Nation. What's going on with this team? What's going on with the bats? Why aren't we getting it done midweek? Now we're losing weekend series. Pirates dropping the polls, but not that dramatically. I think still 12 in D1 and 15 in Baseball America. So a big week ahead this week, obviously, with NC State coming into town. And then due to Easter, you've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday series at Clark LeClaire Stadium.
Yeah, big week for East Carolina baseball. 4 home games. Of course, you don't have to, you say NC State, that's enough said. Big rivalry game on Tuesday, 5:30, going to be on ESPNU. And then Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday at noon after the spring football game. So, 1-3 last week, but the tail of the tape, it seemed like with the Houston series clip, if you look at it, if you got stuck on the number 4, you lost. So every time
5-4, 5-4, 6-4.
Yeah. So East Carolina, some just hard fought games. Just the Pirates didn't come out on the right side of 2 of the 3.
Yeah, and Monday is typically an off day for the guys, but not today. Today was a practice day. I wonder. It could be because of the losing series. It could be more so that they've been coming out a little flat midweek, so maybe wants to mix it up.
And the schedule's different, too, this week. You are playing Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so it's not normally – you're not playing Tuesday off Wednesday, off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, I mean, you can read a lot into it. I'm sure Cliff Godwin has his reasons why he's practicing today. And look, if he thinks he can make his team better and be more prepared to play Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, then that's why he's the head baseball coach at East Carolina University. And this time next week, we'll have a better answer of, hey, look, if that helped or if it didn't.
Hopefully, we'll catch up with the guys in the Delcor Players Lounge coming up on a Wednesday. Coming up Tuesday, 3 o'clock, we'll open the show with ECU head basketball coach Mike Schwartz. He'll join me right here inside the Pirate Radio studios. We'll talk about year one for Coach Schwartz in Greenville. What met his expectations? What would he have changed? What went right? We'll talk about all that, the offseason, how many scholarships are available right now, attacking the portal, all that. So, and we'll recap tonight's championship game with Coach Schwartz. It will be UConn, who has steamrolled everybody in this tournament, against San Diego State, who had been smothering opponents defensively. But, man, FAU is really, really good offensively and did about what they wanted to until late in that game on Saturday. And then San Diego State hits the shot at the end to win it 72-71. So Aztecs Huskies in the championship tonight. Ellerby, will you be awake to hear one shining moment?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely. You can go ahead and write that one down, and I may not be.
If it was a better matchup, would you be?
No.
Okay. So
I don't think I've watched the national championship game in basketball
since you were there.
Probably. I probably had to be there. I don't know. It's just 9 o'clock on Monday. I think I've said it for
9:20 on Monday.
The women's have the days right, Friday and Sunday. I mean, the Super Bowl's on Sunday for a reason. Starts at a decent time where everybody can watch it. I mean, I don't understand college basketball, college football with their Monday night, and look, and I get some of it because the football's going up against the NFL, and it's going to be hard to battle against that in January. But basketball, man, I don't know if they want to look at some sort of Sunday doubleheader with the women playing at 3 and the men playing at 6 or something like that. That might be. It's the NCAA has it all figured out. Clip, they have all the answers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So that'll be coming up tonight. San Diego State, UConn. You can hear it if you're out and about right here on Pirate Radio. Ellerby will let you run.
Sounds good. I'll be back later in the week. Let me know what the homework's going to be for what we're going to talk about. You and Chandler talk about it.
I was thinking about it yesterday. I'm stumped right now. So we'll come up with something. We'll figure it out for Thursday. All right, we'll talk to you then. We'll take a break, come back. More to go. Pirate Radio Live coming up in about 15 minutes. Planning to check in with John Rosengren, the author of The Greatest Summer in Baseball History, recapping the 1973 MLB season. So we'll get to that. You'll hear the Dale Murphy interview Ellerby conducted yesterday at around 4 o'clock. Brian Bailey, 4 o'clock hour. And former Pirate Bryce Harman, now scouting with the Philadelphia Phillies organization. So got all that on the way on a Monday edition of Pirate Radio Live. Back with more after this.
Watch that scene, taking the dancing queen.
Do you want to get rid of wrinkles, tighten and lift your skin, smooth your skin texture, erase veins and brown spots, get rid of unwanted hair and under-eye fat pads? Are you interested in Botox or filler? Contact the licensed professionals at Beauty Bar Medi Spa for a free consultation and ask about our newest technologies and treatments. Learn more at beautybarmedispa.com, Red Banks Road, Greenville. Enjoy your visit, love your transformation, and go Pirates!
Before you hit the road this travel season, be sure to get your tires inspected by the tire guys at Greenville Auto World. The Greenville Auto World service team sells all the top brands and economy tires if you need a new set. Need an oil change, state inspection, or AC repair? Greenville Auto World can work on any type of vehicle, and the monthly oil change special is only $29.99. Make an appointment now by calling 364-8730. For award-winning service, trust Greenville Auto World.
North Carolina State Parks invites you to enjoy camping your way. With the weather changing, booking your own cabin is the perfect solution for your camping getaway. Reserve campsites or cabins today at Jones Lake, Goose Creek, and Cliffs of the Neuse. Whether you enjoy traditional camping or air-conditioned cabins that can be rented with Wi-Fi, your next adventure can include hiking, beautiful scenery, and sunsets by the campfire. For information on booking a cabin, visit ncparks.gov.
UBE UBE and PirateWear.com are proud to offer the Pirate Nation its largest inventory of ECU merchandise and tailgate supplies ever. UBE has the best prices in town, so that makes UBE your one-stop shop for all things ECU. UBE does daily restocks of Champion, Adidas, and Under Armour. Don't forget to bring your young pirates to plunder the Crow's Nest, which is the only kids store dedicated to ECU. Plenty of free parking in Uptown Greenville. Visit them online at PirateWear.com. Go Pirates!
This is Martin Truex Jr., and as a NASCAR Cup Series champion, I love one-stop shopping. When I need fresh tires or fuel during a race, my pit crew takes care of everything. Off the track, I have an Auto Owners independent agent. They handle all my insurance in one place: car, home, life, and business. Get your own pit crew and find a local agency with Auto Owners Insurance.
This is Jeff Gibson with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates!
Welcome to Russell's Spring Style. Our screen door says welcome to a beautiful selection of new apparel for men and women. The spring colors are bold and beautiful, just in time for vacation and Easter. Men, make your next suit or sport coat purchase easy with in-house alterations to assure a great fit. Ladies, it's Russell's for the best selection in dresses, tops, and slacks for most any occasion. Russell and Rhonda work hard to make Russell's in downtown Washington your shopping destination. It's all about you, our friends and customers at Russell's Clothing in downtown Washington.
Great food, great atmosphere, and great service is Ottavola Market Cafe. Ottavola is simply a restaurant that focuses on that, being a great restaurant. There's something for everyone at Ottavola. The menu offers a variety of great choices like pastas, pizzas, sandwiches, soups, salads, and seasonal rotating selections. Lunch or dinner, Ottavola is always the right call. Call ahead and get Ottavola to go, or stop by the bar for a drink with friends. It's simple. Come and eat at Ottavola Market Cafe, Red Banks Road next to Food Lion, and OttavolaMarket.com. Ottavola, pirates supporting pirates.
I'm Donald Stocks, owner of Pip Marketing Signs Print. We are your one-stop shop for just about anything printed. If we're not your go-to printer, please give us a call at 355-1636. We have over 80 five-star Google reviews and want you to be our next more than satisfied and well-pleased customer. Check us out at growatpip.com or stop in to see us at 3185 Mosley Drive in Greenville. Pip, where business goes to grow.
This is Coach Steve Shankweiler, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
Josie's on a vacation far away. Come around and talk it over. So many things that I wanna say. You know I like my girls a little bit older.
You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back as Shirley is completely and utterly unprepared for this segment. Welcome back. Order Jersey Mike subs on the mobile app and get delivery right to your home, or save time and order ahead to skip the line to pick up from your nearest Jersey Mike's sub location. Jersey Mike's, a sub above. Now let's head back into PRL. Here is your host, Clip Brock.
Back with your Pirate Radio Live here on a Monday. No Delcor Players Lounge today. ECU baseball at practice today. Hopefully you can catch up with the guys coming up on Wednesday. Rough weekend for the Pirates, just back and forth games with Houston. One went their way, one did not, as ECU had a lead going into the ninth inning on Friday after some great pitching from Trey Savage, as he went 6 innings, allowed 2 earned runs on 3 hits, had 13 strikeouts for ECU and 115 pitches thrown. But Houston is able, with 2 strikes, to get, with 2 outs, 2 strikes in the ninth, get the tying run in. They end up winning it in the bottom of the 10th. On Saturday, Pirates were able to pick up the win, and it looked very similar to the previous game. Carter Spivey got into the 5th, went 4 1/3, giving up 2 runs. Saw Landon Ginn give up a couple of runs, and Chandler's guy, Dylan Danny Bill, picking up the save for ECU on Saturday as they win that one 5-4. And you had Josh Moylan, who came up big for ECU with a 2-run double in that game. Carter Cunningham has moved to the leadoff spot, and saw him get a hit in that game as well. And then on Sunday, we were watching some of that one at tiebreakers, and Man, kind of a tough luck moment in the fifth inning. Unearned runs for Josh Groves as Jacob Starling commits an error. And then next batter with 2 outs, boom, 2-run shot. That gave Houston a 3-0 lead. Jacob Starling, you got to make up for your mistake, and he did that with a great at-bat where he just kept hitting towering high-fly balls, foul down the left field line, and then straightened one out enough to hit his 4th home run of the season. Pirates battled back, got a 4-3 lead, but then a 3-run homer in the 7th inning was the difference, 6-4, the final score. Josh Groves went 5 innings starting, just 3 strikeouts for him, no walks. That's a really good number for Josh Groves. Had 1 earned run, and without that error, his numbers and maybe the game would have looked different. But he could not get the win. Wyatt Lunsford Shinkman actually got the loss for ECU. Had 3 strikeouts, but did give up the earned run. And so Pirates now looking for answers here after going 1-3 last week, another midweek loss, and their first weekend series loss of the season to the Houston Cougars. Chandler, thoughts on ECU baseball?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I guess it's that time of year where you're going to have some of these losses. Last year it happened a lot. In the beginning of the season, this team was 11-10 around this time last year, and it was a tough week last week with your what's been a trend this year with a midweek loss, and then what hasn't been a trend this year, and that's a weekend series loss. But the good news is that the Pirates have a chance to bounce back tomorrow against a really good opponent in NC State. The good thing with that is it's at Clark LeClaire Stadium, so hopefully people can get out to the ballpark tomorrow and cheer on the Pirates, maybe see a crowd like we saw earlier in the year with North Carolina coming to town. I know it's a Tuesday night, but I think that ECU fans can show up and kind of help this team hopefully get out of the midweek slump and then bounce back Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, that's right. It's kind of a mixed-up schedule this weekend due to Easter being on Sunday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you'll have a chance to bounce back and conference play with UCF, so hopefully they can do that.
Yeah, and busy weekend. By the way, Tuesday is at 5:30, so we'll have be watching the first 30 minutes of that, the last 30 minutes of our show on Tuesday. But a busy weekend because you've got the spring game at 11, and I didn't really think about it till Bailey earlier today said, "What are you doing for the spring game?" I said, "Yeah, I'll go out there and check it out." And I said, "What time's baseball on Saturday?" And he said, "Noon." And I said, "Okay, well, I will not be out there checking it out because I will be over at Clark LeClaire Stadium, and I have to get there around 11. So going to be a lot going on, weather permitting, on Saturday with Pirate football and ECU baseball.
Yeah, it's going to be a very fun Saturday. Hopefully the weather can hold off because right now I know it's not looking too well when it comes to rain, that kind of stuff. And but yeah, I mean, it's a tradition like any other, or unlike any other. That is the spring game, the Purple Gold spring game, and the festivities that go with that on Friday night with the Parade of Pigs and all the delicious barbecue you're going to see and consume on Saturday. You got the Shirley's favorite, the equipment sale that morning at 9 o'clock, which is very popular. So yeah, a very fun day with football, and then got some baseball early that afternoon.
I don't know if he did it on purpose, but a tradition unlike any other is the tagline for the Masters, which is also this week and this weekend.
Yes, that's right.
And talked to Mully yesterday. He said we're going to do some type of pool, and we will be doing that tomorrow during the show.
Cool.
So at least look up leaderboard, rankings, odds, whatever you want, because we'll be likely picking some golfers coming up on Tuesday show.
All right, sweet. I'm excited. I didn't think I have to be quite honest with you.
Hello. If you could lower your voice a little, be nice.
Hello, friends.
Hey.
Am I speaking really loud?
Hey, Jim. No, when this music's on, you have to quiet your voice.
Yeah. Talk very quiet. But, yeah, very excited about the Masters, and I'm very excited about being in another pool because I didn't think that would ever happen again with what happened last year. So, I mean, I'm being serious. So I
will not be running it. I would know. Mully, it felt like it was over.
I know.
And but he is a forgiving man. And we'll be doing something. Kind of bummed out about Jim Nance calling his last Final Four, his last championship tonight. And I'm not a huge, like, Jim Nance is my guy.
My guy.
But he is awesome. I think it's just because he's not over the top. He's not bad. He's just constant. He's just there. He's in your living room.
And he's got that feel-good voice. Like, when I hear his name, I think about sitting on the couch and watching a Masters. Or
He's got a big game voice, definitely.
Yes. Those big-time moments. When you think about big-time moments in sports, you really think of Jim Nance and those awesome calls. My favorite with Jim Nance is when Tiger Woods won the Masters back in 2019. It was like his comeback. The return to glory is what he said as Tiger knocked down the putt. But Jim Nance, he is a legend for sure.
Yeah, he's always got the kind of punny phrase after championship games, and you can't be serious or whatever he's going to go with tonight.
There was a guy, I can't remember. I don't think it was Iron Eagle. And it definitely wasn't Jim Nance. It was one of these up-and-coming guys, I want to say, during March this year when FDU knocked off Purdue.
Yeah.
And he said, FDU believe it.
Yeah.
Like, those kind of calls are really cool. And those are calls like that guy will have and help him propel to a level like Jim Nance.
I really enjoyed the broadcast on Saturday. Grant Hill's good. Bill Raftery is the best. Like, I hope he keeps rolling. I haven't heard if he's going to retire or not. But they got a good three-man group for the Final Four and for tonight's championship game, which you can hear right here on Pirate Radio. All right, Shirley, we have John on the line. So we are now going to go out to the Pirate Radio Live line and talk to John Rosengren. He is the author of The Greatest Summer in Baseball History, and looks like a very interesting subject. Wanted to get John on and talk about it. John, welcome to Pirate Radio. How you doing, sir?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and let's get a little bit about your background first before we talk about the book, John. So tell us about yourself and your baseball background, your background as a writer, and what we need to know.
Well, I'm a freelance journalist. I've been at this for about 40 years, since my senior year in high school, and I've written for publications like The Atavist, The Atlantic, GQ, Sports Illustrated, The New Yorker, Washington Post Magazine, more than 100 publications, and have done 10 books, including 4 about baseball. And this one is actually a reissue of a book that came out in 2008 about the 1973 baseball season, and the publisher thought there'd be renewed interest on the 50th anniversary of the season, so they put out The Greatest Summer in Baseball History, How the 73 Season Changed Us Forever.
And I was looking at the bullet points of this. Okay, what makes this summer, this particular baseball season, different from the others? And some pretty monumental changes and things happened to shape the way baseball looked like and baseball was played really since then, especially when you think about the AL going DH, which now both leagues are DH, and that is a recent change here in baseball. But we can run over some of these bullet points. But what kind of stood out to you most about that summer that made it an interesting topic for you, John?
Well, this was a season like no other. As you mentioned, the designated hitter rule was put into effect, and that was the biggest rule change in 80 years in the game. George Steinbrenner bought the Yankees and brought with it the infusion of big money into baseball, which changed the game forever. And then Hank Aaron was chasing Babe Ruth's iconic 714 career home run mark against the backdrop of racism and encountering a lot of resistance and prejudice. And the nation was riveted on that pursuit during the summer of 73. And then you had the Mets coming from last place at the end of August to get into the World Series, take the A's to 7 games. And the A's were this, bawdy, rambunctious, rowdy circus of a baseball team run by Charlie Finley and led by Reggie Jackson, who became the prototype of the modern superstar. Kind of Willie Mays, who was on the on the Mets, passed the torch to Reggie Jackson in that World Series. And so there's baseball before 1973 and baseball after 1973. I think this was a watershed year, and that's what drew me to the story and made me want to tell it.
Yeah, really interesting talking to John Rosengren on the Pirate Radio Live line. And John, speaking of kind of baseball history, cool day around here in Greenville, North Carolina yesterday as Dale Murphy came to town, and Pirate Radio brought him here, and we had a VIP meet and greet chat at a sports bar here in town. So we watched some Braves baseball with Dale Murphy, and then he went over and spoke at an event, told kind of his story, and also did a Q&A. And he was asked, who did a two-time MVP look up to growing up? And Murph said he was from Portland, Oregon, lived in the Bay Area for a little while, and so he latched on to Willie Mays. He said Hank Aaron is his all-time favorite, but coming up, Willie Mays was his guy. It's always interesting to hear who great players like as their greatest player, and we found out those answers from Dale Murphy yesterday.
That is interesting, but also no surprise, right? Because Willie Mays, some would say, was the greatest player of all time. He's a 5'2" player, could do it all. And unfortunately, at the end of his career in 1973, when he was with the Mets, he was just a shadow of himself, though he did manage to come through in the clutch occasionally, and including with a game-winning hit in the final game of the National League Championship Series to capture the pennant for the Mets. So it was a great time in baseball, and final show for Willie Mays on that circuit.
John Rosengren joining us. John, if people are interested in this book and in that season, I know we've got a ton. Baseball is king around here in Greenville, North Carolina. How can folks pick up your book?
People can order it online at Amazon. They can order it at Indie Bound, that's INDIE Bound, which will get them the book through an independent bookseller. Or, of course, they can stop in at their local independent bookseller, Barnes & Noble, and ask for it. And they can even go to the library. And if the library doesn't have it on the shelves, they could ask for it. And if libraries get enough interest, they'll order the book.
John, you mentioned your other books. I know one here, Blades of Glory, the true story of a young team bred to win. What is baseball your favorite sport? What other sports interest you enough to write about, to cover?
Well, I grew up in Minnesota, and so here hockey is religion, the way football is in Texas or basketball in Indiana. And I could skate as soon as I could walk, like most Minnesota boys, and now girls. And so I decided I wanted to tell the story of a high school hockey powerhouse, and followed a team for a season and wrote that book, Blades of Glory, which is basically Minnesota's Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, that's really neat. And I see you are a Twins fan and from Minnesota. And when you hear Twins, people will think Kirby Puckett, or maybe more recently Torrey Hunter, Joe Mauer. I think of Kent Herbeck, and I still hate him for the World Series there in the early 90s. John, as a Braves fan, when I was a kid, I thought Kent Herbeck was the worst person on the face of the earth.
And the way he pulled Ron Gant's leg.
Yeah, exactly.
Love that here in Minnesota.
A legend there, hated here in the South. But that's part of it, man. That's what makes sports and baseball great. You got these legends, these villains, these heroes, and they live on forever, right?
Right. Well, let me tell you a quick little story about Ken Herbeck that maybe will soften your I had to interview Joe Mauer for a story I was doing a few years back, and I was home with my son, and so I didn't want to leave him home alone. He was like 7, 8 years old at the time, so I said, come on with me. And I brought him with me down to Target Field, and I was going to talk to Mauer before the game, and they wouldn't let my son, the youngster, go into the clubhouse. And so I said, okay, sit here, wait for me outside. I went in, got my quote, came back out, and my son is talking to Kent Herbeck. And Herbeck had just happened to walk by and see my son sitting there, and he sat down and started talking to him. And my son had no idea who he was, but he told him who he was and gave him a ball. And I just thought it was kind of a sweet gesture on his part to take time out of his day to talk to a kid.
Oh man, I hate hearing that the guys I hate in sports are good guys in real life. But no, that's great. I'm sure he is a great guy, but always remembered here for the Ron Gant play and that team. That was a really good team. I remember Jack Morris having a fantastic effort in that World Series, and Dan Gladden and Kirby Puckett. I still remember that. Man, that was part of my childhood. The Braves ended up getting one World Series, but really thought they were going to get that one against the Twins. And I guess, John, is that the last championship for the Twins? I guess it would be, right?
It is.
Yeah.
They've just won two, 87 and 91. But I remember that Braves team, too, and they were stacked, especially the pitching staff, and with Glavine and Smoltz and Maddox. I mean, they were really fun to watch. So that was a great series. I think, went down 7 games, final 10-inning, final game 7. So that was exciting, too.
John, anything next on your agenda? What are the other topics you want to explore and potentially write about?
I write about a variety of subjects. I just did a story on the Iditarod, which is the sled race in Alaska that just came out a couple of weeks ago. And I'm talking with my editors about some other possibilities, and trying to find that next great story.
Well, John, great to chat with you, and this is a very interesting subject. And for you baseball fans, historians out there listening, you can pick up the greatest summer in baseball history. And once again, John, tell folks how they can get that.
It's available online, at Amazon or IndieBound. It's also available in bookstores and at your local library.
John, thank you for joining us. Enjoyed the chat with you, and we will maybe catch up with you again when your next great book comes out. But thanks for joining us today.
Well, you're welcome. Thanks for having me on. I enjoyed it.
All right, there is John Rosengren bringing up some bad memories for me as a kid watching Braves Twins. But that, and again, we get these emails about people wanting to come on and promote what they got coming up. A lot of it is like non-sports related, so I immediately delete it from my email box. But this one sounded in just so many changes during that 1973 season and headline events going on, and very interesting topic. So check that out, folks, if you're a baseball fan. Greatest summer in baseball history, 50-year anniversary of the 1973 season and everything that happened during that season, which still have implications on today's Major League Baseball. All right, checking in with our Facebook and YouTube crew. What's up, Steve? Good to see you. Pike is checking in with us today. Pike's been part of the watch-alongs and the show. We got travel story. We had a Dale Murphy travel hell story from Ellerby earlier. Susan Deans, our resident Panthers fan and listener to the show, was out of the country and was traveling. She said Atlanta to RDU was hell on wheels yesterday. So she was experiencing some of that as Dale Murphy was. Chad, speaking about Jim Nance, said, when you hear Jim Nance say, hello, friends, you just feel safe. I'd agree with that. And he's not over the top, like I said. He's definitely got that voice for the He's got different voices for different games. But from him to the Masters to the championship tonight to NFL Sunday, He has a Jim Nance staple on it, but does them all a little bit differently.
He has like an alter ego for each sport.
Somewhat. It's still Nance, but it's like
and his voice
branches
is a
of
different
Nance.
Volume and a different level of excitement.
Nance branch.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's the master of it. Jerry says Jim Nance's first Masters is when Nicklaus won in 1986. He asked Tom Weiskrop, I'm sorry if I'm getting that name wrong. Oh, Weiskopf, who lost the famous Masters duel to Jack in 1975. What's Jack thinking right now? And he replied that if he knew what Jack was thinking, he would have won the tournament. There you go. Good story from Jerry there. We got Randolph tuning in. Boom, boom, fellas and Shirley. Hit those likes, folks.
Yes, sir, Randolph.
Yeah, if you could, give us a like. We'd appreciate that. Hit that thumb. That'd be nice. Chuck says the Mighty Murphy, 82, 83 MVP, should be in Cooperstown. He is like the poster child for the Hall of So Close. Like right there.
He brought up an interesting point yesterday. I don't know if you caught this or not, but I did, because the more I thought about it after he said it, I was like, he kind of has a point where he talked about how he felt like Ted Turner, Ernie Johnson, and Skip Carey all should be in the Baseball Hall of Fame because of what they did to grow the game of baseball. Because back in those days, I remember growing up, you only got to see baseball once a week, and if you were lucky and had cable, it, like we've talked about and we joke about all the time, if you had TBS, Ted Turner was the one that decided to put baseball on a regular basis on cable, and he was one of the first to do it.
America's team, the Atlanta Braves, and then you had WGN as well.
Yep, WGN,
which was mostly Cubs. They'd show a little White Sox. But yeah, Braves, if you're a Braves fan, and that's how I became a fan, I'm sure your family.
I grew up a Braves fan.
Yeah, others that you watch TBS. You get to watch every single game, whether on the West Coast or whatever. And you could argue that they did more then than they're doing now.
Yes.
Tonight, I'll watch the Braves take on Burley and the Cardinals, and it'll be, well, I did get to see it yesterday because I was at a sports bar, but the first time I'll be able to watch them in my home because of the stupid blackout rules.
Yeah, which
so,
is silly.
Yeah, so, I mean, you could watch more baseball back then than you could now almost when it came to the Braves anyway.
Yeah, and you could also watch day-night baseball because WGN would also have day baseball games. The Cubs would play during the day, so you could watch an afternoon game like when you got home from school. It would be about halfway through, and you could watch a Cubs game, and then later on that night you could catch the Braves playing whoever. He brought up...
That's a really good point, Shirley, that he brought. Ted Turner should be in.
Yeah.
He made a nation of baseball fans, definitely a region in the South.
And when you think about television broadcasters when it comes to baseball, you think about guys like Harry Carey and Skip Carey and Ernie Johnson. I mean, those guys' names are very, very synonymous with watching baseball on television.
And Jonathan mentioned one more that I did watch on cable in the 90s. Home Team Sports would show the Baltimore Orioles, HTS.
I don't remember Home Team as much, but I do remember watching the Braves games because my mom was a huge Dale Murphy fan. If the Braves were playing, we were watching it, and that's really where I got my love for baseball, was watching the Braves play, even though back then they stunk and they weren't very good. But like we said, and I honestly believe that's why you have such a large contingency of Braves fans.
Definitely.
Because they were the ones that had the most exposure at the time.
Chad says, right after Jonathan, don't forget when we got cable, they had HTS, had all the Orioles games. HTS showed the O's, the Caps, the Washington Bullets, and had a lot of Washington Redskins like studio shows. So I was a big HTS watcher back in the day as well.
Well, the cool thing too is I have my own Murph story, and Clip, you actually saw me get pretty giddy about it. Is earlier in the day, Dale had come to the studio and we had to do some things here, and I got a chance to meet him face to face at that point for the first time. And I walked up to him and I said, it's an honor to meet you. I said, because my sister is named after you. My mom is a huge Dale Murphy fan. And he was like, are you kidding me? And I said, no. I said, my mom married a Murphy. And so when she found out that she was pregnant with her second child at the time, she made it very clear that whether it was a girl or a boy, it was going to have the Dale Murphy name. So my sister, when she was born, she was named Jeanette Dale Murphy. And he was kind of taken aback. He said, I've never met another Dale Murphy before. And I said, if my sister was around, you'd meet her. And he said, well, we got to autograph something. And I wasn't prepared because I was under the impression he wasn't going to do any autographs. So I didn't have anything. So when we got to tiebreakers, I kind of looked around like, because he said it again. He saw me a second time. He said, we got to make sure we get your sister that autograph. And I was like, well, what am I going to get it on? A napkin? I mean, what am I going to do? And we had those tickets that, we had for each table. And so I said, well, I'll just have him sign the back of that ticket. And so I walked up to him when he had a free second from taking pictures. And I said, Dale, the only thing I've got is this. He said, will this work? And he said, absolutely. And he said, now, is it spelled the same way? I said, it is spelled the exact same way. And so he signed it to Dale Murphy, all my best, Dale Murphy. And I called my sister, and she absolutely freaked out. And so she's going to get that autograph. And she says she's going to put it in her baby book because she just found it over the weekend, ironically, and it has it listed that she's named after him.
I was very confused when you showed me that because it said to Dale Murphy, and I was like, who's giving Dale Murphy an autograph?
Right.
But it was Dale Murphy to the
As
other
in
Dale Murphy.
my sister.
So it took me a minute. It took my brain a second to click. Oh, okay. Very cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
she was extremely excited, and then I showed my mom. And, of course, my mom hasn't seen Dale in many, many years as far as, pictures and things like that. She remembers him in the number 3 uniform, his young self. So when I showed her the ticket, I said, look, and I said, here's the really cool part. And I showed her the picture that I took of me and Dale, and she said, geez, he's old. And I was like, well, Mom, it's been a while since he's played ball. So, but she didn't recognize him at first, but once she did, she was really ecstatic about it.
All right, let's get a break in. We'll come back. Kaz enjoyed the MLB opening weekend. He said great games. He said the O's loss was brutal. Well, unless you're a Red Sox fan, I guess.
Uh-huh.
And which one? Yesterday or the day before? I think he's referring to the day before when the Orioles dropped a fly ball. Kind of the same situation ECU went through yesterday. Dropped fly ball that would have ended it, and then a bomb to end the game. So Orioles look like they were going to kind of run through and win that series against Boston. Not so fast. O's lose 2 out of 3. O's back at it against the Rangers, who swept the Phillies over the weekend.
Can I make a hot take?
Yeah.
You'll see Connor before the year's out as an Oriole.
Connor Norby, 2 home runs already?
Yep, 2 home runs on the season. He hit another one yesterday. He went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. So he had a monster game over the Durham Bulls.
And shout out to Burley for his home run yesterday off of Chris Bassett in the Cardinals win. And Burley went 3 for 4 yesterday.
Yep.
So awesome stuff as we follow our former Pirates. We'll take a break, come back, wrap up hour number 1 when we return after this.
Try to stop my hands from shaking. Something in my mind's not making sense. It's been a while since we were all alone. I can't hide the way I'm feeling.
The Buccaneer Music Hall is your beacon of music in the land of the Pirates. They're open every day and have live music every night, along with 18 big screen TVs to watch all your favorite sporting events. Tuesday, it's karaoke with DJ Captain Morgan. Wednesdays, it's line dancing. Thursday night is the dance party with DJ Kid Scene. And live music every Friday and Saturday night with the best bands on the East Coast. Follow the Buck on Instagram for more information on scheduled events, and we'll see you at the Buck.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Country Mart has been locally owned and operated for over 40 years and is your premier country store serving the best cheese biscuits and country food around. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Both Country Mart locations are top-of-the-line fuel stations serving Shell gas, including 93 ethanol-free high-octane gas. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food in your engines with great gasoline. Go Pirates!
At Papa John's, we start with better. Like marinated oven roasted chicken tossed in our new hot lemon pepper sauce, kind of better. And now you can find them on the Papa Pairings menu. Get 2 or more Papa Pairings favorites for just $6.99 each, only from Papa John's.
Hey, Pirate fans, Papa John's is the MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, better ingredients, better pizza. Go Pirates!
Baseball is back in Birdland. Join in on the fun for Nickelodeon Kids opening day at Oriole Park on April 9th at 1:35 versus the Yankees. The first 10,000 fans 14 and under will receive an Oriole Bird Nickelodeon bobblehead presented by Wise Markets.
Plus, stick around after the game when all fans ages 4 to 14 can run the bases. Also presented by Wise Markets. For even more fun and games, check out Kids Corner. Purchase your tickets today at Orioles.com/tickets.
East Coast Grading and Utilities is your source for clearing, hauling dirt, and concrete work. East Coast Grading and Utilities handles all sewer and water issues as well.
I'm David Vaughn. Whether putting in a new subdivision or helping you with any and all of your drainage problems, I can get the job done. Call me at 531-7494.
No job is too big or too small. East Coast Grading and Utilities. Friends helping friends. 531-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
Zero means zero at Bostic Sugg Furniture. Zero minimum purchase, zero interest, zero sales tax. Today at Bostic Sugg, zero gets you everything. Beautiful sofas, sectionals, and motion furniture, dining sets, and bedrooms. Then get a discount equal to double the sales tax or 72 months zero interest with zero minimum purchase. Plus, sleep better on a new Restonic or Serta mattress with a power base. Zero means zero, but there's zero time to waste. So hurry to Bostic Sugg Furniture.
Greenville's newest sports bar is officially open. Coco's Sports Bar, located in the old Professor O'Cool's location right off of Greenville Boulevard, has daily specials, including $2.50 aluminum bottles on Tuesdays and $1 wings on Wednesdays. Along with their great food, Coco's has great entertainment for you and the crew to enjoy with karaoke on Thursdays, a live DJ on Fridays, and live music every Saturday night. Check out Coco's Sports Bar on Facebook for the latest information on menu items, drink and lunch specials, and more. Go Pirates!
Pirate Radio.
And I can promise you, there will be no quarter, ever, from ECU football. Go Pirates.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. University PC Care has been Pirate Nation's go-to IT expert since 2006 and are the local tech support experts for any of your business needs. Let University PC Care take care of it so you can take care of business. Visit universitypccare.com to learn more today. Now let's head back in to PRL. Here is your host, Clip Rock.
Back with you, Pirate Radio Live. Coming up in our next segment, you'll hear Ellerby's interview with Dale Murphy from yesterday, and I will hear it as well. I have not heard that yet, so looking forward to that. Also, in hour number 2, Brian Bailey will join us on the program. Had a great Brian Bailey show earlier today with Jules Montaner, the new cornerbacks coach at ECU, ahead of the spring game. So if you missed it, you can check that out at 6. We'll talk some football, hoops, baseball, and more with Brian Bailey coming up in hour number 2. And in the third hour, you'll want to check out Bryce Harman, who I saw at Clark LeClaire Stadium a couple weekends ago. And he is now a scout with the Philadelphia Phillies. He was checking out the Missouri State center fielder and also Josh Gross on that Sunday amongst all the other players out there on the field. And we'll catch up with Bryce, talk about his playing days, talk about what he's doing now. And he is it's really cool to cover ECU players and then see them when they grow up and become men and women. And I saw Bryce and did not recognize him. He walked in and he looked like somebody's dad or uncle up there because he was always tall, but now he's just like, he's been in the gym. He's got a full beard. Like, he's just a grown man. And he said, "Hey, Clip." And I was like, "Hello." And he said, "Bryce Harman." And I was like, "Whoa, all right." So talked to him a little bit there, but going to pick his brain about scouting and ECU baseball and more coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll wrap up this hour. So we had the Dale Murphy event yesterday. I'll walk into that. And by the time I walk out, I realize that everybody in the world watches women's college basketball. I had no idea. It's crazy. Where have all the fans been hiding?
I was watching it while we were at the Dale Murphy event.
I know you're a women's college basketball fan. I did not know everybody else in the world was.
Everybody and their mama.
And they have an opinion on what transpired at the end of the championship game between LSU and Iowa. And I am not the one for this topic for 2 reasons. One, I didn't know who Angel Reese was until yesterday. And the only players in women's college basketball I can name are Caitlin Clark and the girls on ECU's women's team. So I'm not, I don't follow it. So that's one reason it's not my topic. The other reason is because I love junk talk. It makes it more interesting. I want my team, I want the Washington players to hate the Cowboys as much as I do. I want the Braves to hate the Phillies and Mets as much as I do. I want my team to hate the team that I hate more or as much as I do. And it doesn't work like that because they're real human beings and they know those people and they're friends. And but my sports brain wants my team to hate the enemy as much as I do and look at them as an enemy. So I love junk talk. I love taunting. I love it. You're out there on the field. You beat your man. I love when Washington torched Dallas on Thanksgiving, and Pierre Garçon and Santana Moss are looking up at the Cowboys fans, talking to them. Oh, I love it so much. When Sean Taylor would hit a receiver over the middle, stand over him, it got me fired up. Sportsmanship. Do your sportsmanship after the game. You talk junk and then shake hands or whatever. During the game, I love junk talking.
T.O. going to the middle of the store.
Yeah, and it was great. You know why? Because George Teague, was that his name? Ran all the way down the field and hit him. It was great. Did that not make that more interesting? Did that not get you more into the game and want to see what happened next? It was awesome. I love that stuff. Why did Angel Reese do the "you can't see me"? Because Caitlin Clark did that.
She was doing it literally the whole Final Four.
ESPN had a promo going back into the game and stuff with Caitlin Clark doing that. So she sees that. She gets tired of that. She says, hey, I'm going to pop one off at her at the end of the game. Who cares? Why do you care? Are you saying it sets a bad example for the kids? Maybe. I mean, well, then you got to take down Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and everybody doing it. I mean, I don't know. I think it's fine. It didn't lead to any fights or anything. I love it. It makes me more interested.
Well, I mean, I didn't pay too much attention to the women's Final Four, but I've definitely been seeing the chatter and, this interaction between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And what I saw in a lot of posts is it kind of seemed like when Caitlin Clark was doing it, it was more of like good for her and this and that, and then it was all a problem.
And I wonder why that is. There are reasons for that. But, I mean, be consistent. If you didn't like it yesterday, then hopefully you didn't like it when Caitlin Clark did it. I'm cool with both of them. Do it, whatever. And if you lose, that makes you look like a fool, and you have to deal with that. Is Caitlin Clark that upset about it? I mean, I think she's a big girl. She can handle it. She's an awesome player. She was doing it. I don't think we all need to rally around her and get in a circle and hug her up and say it'll be okay. I think she's okay. Maybe I'm wrong.
Fine. She had a good tournament.
I'm pretty sure she's okay.
The way I look at it is number one, I didn't see a problem with it other than maybe she did it just a shade too long, I thought. But, but I didn't have a problem with it because you're right. If Caitlin's going to do it and Angel can do it, she has just as much right to do it to Caitlin. I thought it was, it was two really, really good basketball players going back and forth. These two teams were hungry. They wanted it. Neither team had ever won a title. You had it was the matchup you wanted for a national title game. And in that first half, they traded baskets back and forth. It was fun to watch. Now, the second half, I felt like maybe the referees kind of, in my opinion, I think the referees kind of took control of the game and really messed it up, in my opinion. But as far as the taunting goes, here's the thing. These are really good ball players. They walk the walk, let them talk the talk. Don't sit there and say that it's classless or, it's not becoming of them, for lack of a better term. because you see it all the time in the NBA. You see it all the time in other places just because it's a female sport.
I agree. I think if this is men's, nobody's really talking about it.
And the thing is Angel Reese in the post game press conference, she didn't apologize for it. She said, "Look," she said, "this is who I am. I am unapologetically me, and I'm not backing down. You made up this narrative. I'm not going to play into your hands. She did it. I did it in return." It's junk talk, and I'm not going to apologize for it.
And it does have bad unintended consequences because you're going to see little kids doing it. And every time I see those, first of all, why do we have 8 and 9-year-olds playing AAU and whatever? But you see these tournaments, and they're out there doing the dances and the taunts, and they don't know what the hell they're doing. They just do it because they saw it on TV. That is not cool.
I agree with that.
We don't need that. But when, college and pros are doing it, it's fine. It makes me more entertained to the game. It's more entertaining for me, and I get that it's going to trickle down, but I don't know. I like the junk talk.
And you can't tell me for many years I kept hearing, oh well, the women's college basketball is no fun, nobody's watching those games. Did you look at the arena?
Well, everybody's watching it now according to social media. Everybody's got an opinion on it.
Well, of course, but not even just that. Just the title game, they had a packed house.
Yeah.
And it was loud and it was insane and it was everything that college athletics should be. And I agree with you. I don't think kids as young as 7, 8 years old should be taunting anybody because
they don't even know why they're doing it. They're just doing it.
They're just mimicking.
Yeah.
But now if you're you're a college basketball player, you're of age, you're technically an adult, and you know exactly what you're doing. And if you're going to sit there and get in somebody's face and talk all that trash, you better be able to back it up.
There's also
otherwise somebody's going to make you look stupid.
And there's penalties for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can get teed up. You can cost your team. So, yeah, much better to celebrate with your team and look at your fans and tell them to get up and do that. Because if you do taunt, you have to pay the price for that. I'm just saying, as a fan, especially pro sports, I want Deron Payne to hate Dak Prescott. And I know that's not going to happen because, like I said, they're probably pals. They're probably buddies. They both played in the SEC. But that's how I want it. And in my mind, that's how it is. And if he sacks him and stares over him and flexes, I'm going to get out of my chair and my fat ass is going to be flexing in the living room because that's what excites me when I watch sports. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a corner that's just going to run over a receiver and pop him really good, heck yeah, I want him to stand over. Be like, fool, you should have held on to the ball.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Let them decide it on the court. And I'm not talking about a fist fight. I'm talking about may the best man or woman win. Yesterday, that was LSU and Angel Reese. So she got the last John Cena in. Whatever. Don't care. All right, let's take a break. When we return, we'll hear Jonathan Ellerby's interview with Dale Murphy, who definitely did have class when he played. Wonder if he ever bat flipped. There's different ways to go about it, folks.
He had a beautiful bat wiggle, though.
There's the Joey Bautista bat flip. There's the Murphy drop the bat. I was going to ask him about that yesterday. Where did the wiggle come from, Shirley?
I don't know, but I sure did copy it as a kid.
Love the wiggle. We'll hear from Murph when we return. Pirate Radio Live rolls on a Monday after this.
This is Aaron Williams with Ease Plumbing.
This is Mike Hoggart with Viva Electric.
This is Mark McGlawhorn, Roland Black Heating and Cooling.
We have teamed up to form New Blue Service Group, offering Eastern North Carolina the best in plumbing, electrical, and HVAC services. Same great local team, same great local service, just a new name. Contact us at callnewblue.com. That's callnublue.com. New Blue Service Group, where we are redefining service excellence. Call us today to help with your plumbing, electrical, and HVAC services. Go Pirates.
Hey, Pirate Nation, Lindsay Gray here with Carolina Caliber. In 1960, my granddaddy started his firearm business right here in Eastern NC. Still family owned and operated, we have the area's largest selection for outdoor shooting sports and accessories and are one of the nation's top firearm dealers. At Carolina Caliber, we have everything you need from hunting, home defense, and personal protection, including a wide variety for ladies and youth. We buy, sell, and trade. It's a time-honored tradition. Visit us at Carolina Caliber on Fire Tower Road in Winterville.
Jeff Stein, our special guest from Brown & Wood. Hey, Jeff, electric cars are coming. What's that mean for Brown & Wood customers?
For the customers, like it or not, EV is coming. We've installed 5 electric vehicle chargers here at the dealership. We have the all-new Cadillac Lyriq coming at 1st of 2024, and we've just seen the first reservation for the new Sierra EV.
People are interested in electric vehicles. How can they get up with you?
They can visit us at brownandwood.net or 329 Southwest Greenville Boulevard. Brown & Wood, 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 rooftops, and 1 goal, to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This isn't your regular cola, so this isn't your regular cola ad. No beach parties or family barbecues here, just Nitro Pepsi, the first cola ever infused with nitrogen. So forget everything you thought you knew about soda, because that nitrogen gives us a whole new experience. Think an infusion of smaller bubbles for a cola that's got a lighter, smoother texture. And don't get me started on the pour. You don't pour this like any other cola. We're talking turn the can completely upside down and watch as those bubbles cascade into the glass to create a frothy, luxurious foam topping. Can your cola do that? I didn't think so. Unless you've got your own Nitro Pepsi, in which case cheers to your great taste. Because you already know that the only thing better than the pour is the unapologetic cola taste. What else is there to say? From the creamy foam to the smooth texture to its unbelievably delicious flavor, this is cola like you've never had it before. Time to bring your taste buds to the next frontier. Nitro Pepsi. Smooth, creamy, delicious.
Get lucky this month at your CBD store. Make them your go-to shop for all natural sleep, calm, recovery, and wellness products. Our trusted products are award-winning, third-party tested, and only available at your CBD store. New gifts and accessories are also in stock. Stop by and take a look. Get $10 off any purchase over $65. Just mention the code GETLUCKY10. So get lucky this month at your CBD store. Open 7 days a week. Call ahead for pickup at 999-5127. Your CBD store, 420 East Arlington Boulevard, beside Duck Donuts.
Did you know that it's illegal to dig without first calling 811? 811 is a free program that locates underground utilities, marking them with flags and paint lines so you know where not to dig. Accidentally digging into utility lines interrupts service and could seriously hurt you or someone else. If you know someone who's planning to dig, encourage them to call 811 at least 3 full working days before they dig. 811 is free, it's safe, and it's the law. This message is brought to you by Greenville Utilities and this station.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by Country Mart. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations, in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food and your engines with great gasoline. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Greenville Utilities Neighbor to Neighbor program provides help for those who need temporary assistance with their utility costs, and you can make a difference. Your tax-deductible donation can be added to your GUC bill each month, or you can make a one-time donation, and GUC will match all donations up to $20,000 each year. Consider helping a neighbor with GUC's Neighbor to Neighbor program. Now let's head back in to PRL. Here's Flip.
Back with you, Pirate Radio Live here on a Monday. Clip Rock, Shirley Rhodes, the man of Chan, Brian Bailey, going to join us later this hour. Also, Bryce Harman, former Pirate, will join us as well, talk about what he's doing today, which is scouting for the Philadelphia Phillies. So we'll check in with him coming up hour number 3. Also got a giveaway for you. And if you'd like to chime in on anything going on in the world of sports, ECU baseball, your opinion on the women's college basketball championship, what's going to happen tonight? Can we finally get a close UConn game? I'm just going to ride with Nate Dew. I already put it in. I saw he did it immediately after Saturday night, had San Diego State plus 8.5. I drove up to Virginia, took plus 8. I'm just going to pick against UConn again and get steamrolled. That's my plan for the evening. They have looked awesome. So can San Diego State give them a challenge tonight? Tristan Newton looking to be cutting down the nets as one shining moment plays tonight in Houston. All right, we'll switch gears for a moment. I've been talking about this Dale Murphy event from yesterday. It was awesome. Great guy. There's a lot of fans. There's people listening right now that can attest to that because he gave everyone time that wanted it yesterday, whether you want a picture, autograph, or just to chat about some old memories. He was awesome yesterday. Before all that took place, Ellerby had a chance to talk to him right here in the Pirate Radio studios, and I'll be listening to this for the first time. Here is Ellerby with two-time NL MVP Dale Murphy.
What an exciting day in Greenville, North Carolina. Dale Murphy in the Pirate Radio studio. It's hard for me to believe. Welcome to Greenville. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here, and I feel like I'm in Pirate country, but also Braves country, so it's great.
Absolutely. A little bit of both. East Carolina fans love the Atlanta Braves and love you, and super excited to have you today. You came in the studio. You're kind of like Santa Claus. You walked in, and just your presence was a great present. Look forward to hearing you talk to our audience later today. What's going on with Dale Murphy? How's life?
Great. You know, Dale Murphy fans from back in the day probably be a little shocked to hear we're expecting our 16th grandchild.
Wow. a lot more Murphys.
Yeah. So Murph's a grandpa, but, things are going really well. We got a restaurant we're trying to expand in Atlanta, down by the ballpark there. And, I love to speak. I'm traveling around, brought me here, and that's about it, really. Speaking in the restaurant keeps me busy.
And for folks, you're going to be in Atlanta a lot this spring and summer. Do you spend a lot of time at the restaurant if people go and dine there?
Yeah, as long as I'm there. You're right. We're going to be there for most of April, May, and June. Nancy and I are looking forward to getting back there. We live out west in Utah, so like I said, we're trying to expand the restaurant. It's Murph's. If anybody's curious, we're in the Galleria there in the Cumberland area by the ballpark, not in the Battery. So it's going really good. And also we have our MVP experiences. Nancy and I host a group of people at the restaurant that we go over the game with them, and we're with them during the game in a suite. So the MVP experiences, the restaurant, and speaking keeps me busy.
Dale Murphy, such an icon, a living legend. Number 3 for the Atlanta Braves, 2-time NL MVP. What's like the most number one question you get asked the most when you interact with so many different people? What's the top question that people want to know about Dale Murphy?
What's Bob Horner up to?
Is he the most popular teammate that people ask you about?
It's so interesting, the power of TBS. They usually go, no matter where I am, they go through the lineup. How's Glenn Hubbard, Bruce Benedict? What's Rafael Ramirez? Have you seen him? And, of course, they ask about Bob. But, I think the main thing is those early 80s teams. We had some pretty competitive teams. And, as you and I have talked about, the power of TBS and going all over the country, if not the world, I guess, if you had a dish back then. But, people are just there was a real good connection there with the fans. And I always say, our announcers did such a good job because they brought you, Skip and Pete and Ernie, they brought you a hometown broadcast as opposed to the game of the week, which was not really a hometown broadcast. It was announcers that didn't know us. They tried to study, but, our announcers and our broadcasters, they traveled with us. They saw us every day, and it was really a hometown broadcast. So it really, I think, endeared the fans to the team. And so it's fun to travel around the country and talk about those teams back in the TBS days.
Yeah, growing up a Braves fan, I mean, pre-digital age, if you miss the game, you miss the game,
Right.
But having games on TV as much as you guys were on TV, and the consistency of the team staying together without as many free agents, that you knew that, hey, Dale Murphy, Bob Horner, Chris Champ, they were going to be on the team pretty much the next year. So the baseball cards kind of matched up with who was playing on TBS. So always that loyalty, and I do think all the broadcasters were tremendous too.
Yeah, I think they should be in the Hall of Fame. I think Ted Turner should be in the Hall of Fame. That the whole TBS thing really grew not only Braves fans but baseball fans. I mean, people like baseball because they remember those days of watching the Braves on TBS. And Ted, he didn't. I understood that he was just looking for content. I mean, he bought the Braves to put them on his channel because he needed some sports programming, and it's the whole legacy is one of really growing the game of baseball that I think is really kind of unknown, except with Braves fans and TBS fans. You know what I mean? People don't understand that whatever state I go in and give a talk, people come up to me, and Elko, Nevada. I ran into someone. I wasn't in Elko, but I'm from Elko, and they went through my whole lineup. And if you think about it, we were never in the World Series,
right?
But we were, as you said, we were on all the time. And so baseball is a game. It's a long season, and it's kind of like you want to see how this thing plays out. It takes a long time, and there's just talking about the game. There are times where you got to fill in about the player, and our announcers, brought that feeling to the people in Fargo, North Dakota. I talked to someone there, a number of people in North Dakota. I gave a talk there, and there were probably 80 people there in the audience that had watched the games on TBS. So it was really a unique thing. It was fun to be a part of, but the older I get, the more I appreciate it, I think.
Absolutely. I diehard Braves fan, diehard Dale Murphy fan. Now, when you look at your playing career and reflect, are there one or two moments, one or two plays that stand out above the rest when you think, man, I remember that's one play, or that game was my favorite?
Well, I start smiling because, as you know, and remember, 82 we got to the playoffs, but we got swept, so it was pretty quick. We were out of there. 83 and 84, we were competitive. But what's funny is there's a couple of things that kind of stick out, and you'll laugh when I say them, but. The first is the first 2 weeks of 82. We went 13-0, and it was like we had won the World Series. We went home after we'd won about 9 or 10. Our first, I can't remember exactly, but there were thousands of people at the airport. After our first 10 games, we were undefeated, and it was so exciting. People, even the World Series teams of the later years, people said that first 2 weeks of 82 was still incredible. And but then the other things, people always ask me about, you asked what sticks out. It's just because people ask me all the time, and these would be things that I would always remember, but people love to talk about July 4th, 1985, where we played all night and got rained out, and Rick Camp, it's funny. We got a pitcher that couldn't hit one of the most memorable home runs to Atlanta Braves fans. Hank Aaron beat Babe Ruth, and Dave Justice, I think, hit a big home run in the playoffs, and Chipper, of course, and all these people, my generation. Tell me about the Rick Camp home run in extra innings of that July 4th game. Of course, I got home about 4:30 or 5 that morning. It's a long story, but I get asked about that a lot. So I think that's it. Really, 82 and that crazy July 4th game. I get asked about those things a lot. I had a few good games, but I really didn't do anything. I mean, down the stretch in 82, I hit a home run. I remember. I can't remember. I had a couple good at bats. Hit a home run in Dodger Stadium, and I had a walk-off single, I think, against the Braves. I can't remember the exact times, but if you get into the playoffs or World Series, I could probably talk about something that a little more memorable. But I didn't really have a very good playoff series, actually. So, but those are the things that that I think about.
Well, you're very humble. You're an all-star in all our minds. I could sit here for hours and just pick your brain, but we got to get to events and let the public of Greenville get to meet you and greet you. But thank you so much for agreeing to come to Greenville, North Carolina. Excited to spend the day with you and let you tell your story, and look forward to continuing to follow and always be a Dale Murphy fan, even bigger after today.
Thank you so much. And, we'll talk again. Let's have me back on the station. And, the older I get, the more I like to talk about it. So
well, maybe you need your own radio show here on Pirate Radio.
Let's do it.
Anything's possible. Thanks for being here. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
All right, there is Ellerby and Dale Murphy, who came yesterday, and really cool day, and just a down-to-earth, really nice guy. Told some great stories, and he had his message that he delivers to everybody, and, it was good. There was cliches in there or whatever. I enjoyed the Q&A, hearing those old names, hearing those old stories, and funny stories about his struggles in baseball and how he was supposed to be the next Johnny Bench, and told the story about how he tried to gun a guy out at second and hit the pitcher in the hip and took him out of the game. And
that was, aside from the
I'd
Tom
never heard that
Glavine
one
story,
before.
that was the one that I enjoyed because I could visualize it. And, because a lot of people didn't realize, and may have forgotten that he was drafted as a catcher. And so that's where he started his his baseball career was as a catcher. And, he said I think he one-hopped it, or did he one-hop it and hit him? No, just drilled him.
Yeah.
Drilled him right in the hip bone.
And if you can hit, and you can hit at an elite level like Dale Murphy, they'll find a spot for you, because they moved him from catcher to first and then finally put him in the outfield and said, all right, just catch some fly balls and hit some home runs, and you'll be in the lineup. And some really good stuff yesterday with the Murph. Let's take a break. We'll come back. When we return, Double B, Brian Bailey will join us. I wonder if Bailey still gets sentimental when they play One Shining Moment. We'll ask him that, because that will be
he does
tonight at the conclusion of UConn and San Diego State. That San Diego State FAU Final Four game was one of the strangest. I'm just sitting there, and I'm seeing the Final Four graphics. I'm hearing Nance and Raftery and Grant Hill and the pageantry, and it was a great crowd, hot crowd. That was awesome. But to see those names on the scorebug and those jerseys and those teams, it didn't feel right. But fun game. Great game for a while, and then it kind of got ugly at the end. But San Diego State wins it on a last-second shot. They earned the right to play for the championship tonight against UConn. You can hear it right here on Pirate Radio. We'll talk to Bailey about that, Pirate baseball, spring football, and more when we return. Pirate Radio Live after this.
Greetings, friends of Eastern North Carolina. If you're looking for a great place to work with competitive pay and a multitude of advancement opportunities, Pitt County Schools is hiring. We employ over 3,500 people, and we're one of the largest employers in Pitt County. We are currently seeking teachers, bus drivers, school nutrition personnel, facility staff, custodians, clerical staff, and more. We offer advanced leadership opportunities for our educators and competitive pay for our skilled labor force. If you want to be part of a thriving school system that focuses on educating students, growing our employees, and promoting positive mental and physical health initiatives, we encourage you to become a part of our Pitt County Schools family to help ensure success for the future of Eastern North Carolina. To fill out an application, visit our website today at pittschools.org. That's pittschools.org. And remember, education is truly a team effort. Pitt County Schools. Live and lead.
This is Dr. Dixon from Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. Our practice has been caring for the athletes at ECU and the residents of Eastern North Carolina for more than 35 years. Whether it's treatment for your sports injury or it's time for that joint replacement, Orthopedics East provides the latest in operative and non-operative orthopedic care. We also offer on-site physical therapy and MRI services, as well as walk-in urgent care on the weekends from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. For experienced and professional care, call us at 757-BONE or visit us online at orthoeast.com. Go Pirates!
Come pop a top at Jarvis Street Bottle Shop. Jarvis Street Bottle Shop is a specialty shop selling craft, domestic, and import brews, along with wine and growlers. Hosting a tailgate? Stop by the shop and grab a keg for your party or event. The Bottle Shop offers monthly beer and wine tastings featuring rotating NC craft breweries, along with live music and discounts. Stop by the shop Tuesday through Sunday or check them out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Be sure to check out David Price Construction for all of your commercial or custom residential renovation and building needs. Run by ECU alumni, David Price Construction specializes in commercial projects, maintenance on facilities, and large-scale residential renovations and additions. Proud to be voted the Remodeler of the Year by the Home Builders Association of Raleigh-Wake County in 2018 and Best Business Commercial Remodel Project winner for 2020. David Price Construction, the proud ECU Home Services partner.
Great. It's 30 degrees in here. This is going to be a cold night.
No one's coming out this late.
I'm on firewood.
Dad! I'll put hot coals in our socks for bedtime. Mom!
Hi, I'm from Delcor Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Got an email about your heat being out?
That was me. I sent it from my phone.
I think your socks are on fire.
Call Delcor today to get a new system installed for less than $100 a month. Offer expires soon. Go to delcorinc.com. Monthly fee based on new system financing is 9.9% APR for 120 months. Call Delcor for details.
While you're sleeping, our whole hogs are slow cooking over wood to create that bite that Eastern North Carolina is known for. I'm Sam Jones, and for more than 3 generations, my folks have been the torchbearers for what whole hog barbecue is supposed to be. At Sam Jones, you'll find plenty of smoke, but no mirrors. Everything, and I mean everything, is made fresh daily, including our sides, sweets, and sauces. Come on over and see us at Sam Jones Barbecue, and I bet you'll be able to taste our passion in just one bite. Sam Jones Barbecue, Fire Tower Road.
To keep your bodies active and engaged in the activities that you love, you need a good stretch. And at Bodies in Balance, that's the mission they follow to give you the best quality of life. The team at Bodies in Balance can create a stretch or massage program that is right for you, featuring aromatherapy, hot stones, hot towels, cupping, percussion, and myofascial work at no extra cost if requested. And don't forget to mention Pirate Radio and get your first massage for $1 per minute and your first stretch free. Call today at 916-4530 and check them out online at bodiesinbalance.com.
Pirate Radio.
It's great to be on. This is an honor. You know, Pirate Radio is kind of a cult following around North Carolina, so I'm excited.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by Country Mart. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations, in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food and your engines with great gasoline. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Do you have real estate questions about buying or selling residential or commercial properties? Are you curious about the current real estate market, or do you need a property manager for rental houses? ECU alum Scott Harris with RE/MAX and SD Harris Properties can help answer every question you have and show you a stress-free real estate experience that will be memorable and enjoyable. If you have real estate questions, Scott has answers. Call Scott Harris today at 347-1857. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip.
Back with you, Pirate Radio Live here on a Monday. I'm looking at all the national championship game spreads since 1985. I don't know how much of this information I want to divulge because I want to use some of it Wednesday night at Sports Trivia, and Chandler and others may be listening, and I don't want to give away any answers, but I will bring it up with Brian Bailey here in just a moment when he joins us on the Pirate Radio Live line. So I guess it opened up 8.5. I saw Nadeau jumped on San Diego State immediately on Saturday night. By the time I looked at it, it was 8. Now I think it's 7.5. So it's kind of trended a little bit in San Diego State's favor, which I guess you would expect, just being such a high number initially. But do you want to stand in the way of UConn right now? Do you have the cojones to take the opposing side of UConn, as they have blown everybody out in this tournament? I don't know if I have the cojones. I just have the lack of brain cells to do it. So I'm going to try it again. I'm going to go against UConn one more time tonight as they take on San Diego State. Brian Bailey joins us on the Pirate Radio Live line. Hello, BB.
Hello.
I've got the spreads, Bailey, for all the championship games since 1985. To find a championship game spread that was higher than tonight, you got to go all the way back to 2002 when Maryland was an 8-point favorite against Indiana, and the Terps won, and the Terps got Gary Williams' only championship by a 12-point margin there. Little, and I don't know, Bailey, you could make this number like 12 or 13, and people would still take UConn probably, just the way they've been blowing teams out.
That Maryland team was Juan Dixon, right?
Juan Dixon, Drew Nicholas, yeah.
Yeah, team. Yeah, you're right, because, I mean, the numbers say that UConn hasn't had a close game throughout the tournament, in a tournament that has been so crazy you can't keep up with the upsets. So I think that's another one of the upsets, the fact that UConn has breezed through it like they have, but they look good. I found a soundbite with Tristan Newton put on the newscast tonight, and he was talking about just the success that they've had, and I think it's great to see him out there, playing for a national championship.
I like Tristan. I hate that he's not in purple and gold, but hard to argue that he didn't make the right decision, as he's the starting point guard for a team playing for the national championship. At halftime of last game, he was flirting with a triple-double. He's kind of Mr. Do-It-All. He's not asked to be the hero, but is asked at times to hit a three late in the shot clock, or to guard an opposing guard. So man, he's found his role there and played it awesome. And it's he was always nice, Bailey, good to talk to, kind of easygoing guy, even on the court, like never really gets that excited, just a laid back fella. And I'm like you, I'm glad to see him having success.
And we had a game when Pirates lost, and Joe Dooley was in a bad mood. We were doing the coaching show. We walked out, and I said, "Good luck at practice Monday." And he kind of smiled and said, "We're used to it." kind of sheepishly smiled, but you could tell he really liked Joe too. But yeah, and there's a certain amount of Pirate fans out there that once you're not a Pirate, they don't want anything to do with you. But I think the fact that he thought enough of East Carolina to come here and spend some time here, and and we're in a different age now with the transfer portal and everything that's going on. So and he's made the most of it.
Still remember the first ECU basketball game I did PA for, Bailey, was it was awesome. I got to fill in for Morgan Ehlers, and I'm down there, and Joe Dooley's to my left, TV, Ted Valentine's in front of me, and screaming maniac Dan Hurley is to my right. And it was just, I was like, man, this is awesome. What an experience. And Dooley screamed the whole game, Hurley screamed the whole game, and Teddy's just trying to make calls and get on TV. But Hurley, and this was cool, I saw it over the weekend, they lost to Villanova or Providence or somebody early on when they rejoined the Big East, and he said, "Get us now because we're coming." And a lot of coaches say that. It makes for a good soundbite, but dang if he didn't mean it. He's playing for a title tonight, and he has built back up UConn and into a major power here.
And this is not the Big East that in the good old days, but still, he talked about, Coach Hurley talked about the fact that the Big East makes you a tougher team, night in and night out playing that schedule. And I think he's thankful to have that road that he's had to go through with UConn this year to get them to this point. Do you
still get emotional when you hear One Shining Moment, Bailey?
Not as much as I used to. I used to love that, but I just did some script work, and I wrote that we'll be back with you after the game tonight, and after, of course, One Shining Moment. So stay up late with us tonight. We don't go on until all that stuff ends, and
man,
it's going to be a late night for us here. But we're going to watch basketball the whole night. It's not like we're really working.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested. There's talk of, hey, let's move the Super Bowl to Saturday. Wouldn't shock me if we see that in the future, and you maybe put it Saturday prime time rather than Sunday. I wonder, Bailey, if they ever touch the championship. I love the Final Four Saturday, and I don't mind the Monday, but as I get older, I get it. Like, it is really, really late to tip off. Not even at 9, but it says 9:20. Hopefully they're tipped off by then. I wonder if they ever mess with it, or is it kind of if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of thing.
I think the only thing they could do maybe is go to like the women with the Friday, Final Four. I don't even think that was the Saturday national semifinals is the best case scenario.
Yeah.
And I think they could move it up though on Monday night. I mean, I know it's for the West Coast because they have everything happen so early, but still, why not start the game at 8:00? I mean, you're in prime time, but
I guess would it be too anticlimactic to go Saturday Final Four, next Saturday championship? Would that be spreading it out too much?
I think it does. I think it spreads it out. Plus, the Final Four. Part of the magic of the tournament is the Final Four and then the championship.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the tournament format. So I think you gotta play them. Every other day.
All right. Well, just move the tip off up an hour, and everybody be happy.
Move it up to 7:50 or something.
Yeah, moving on up. Brian Bailey joining us, and Bailey, Pirate baseball over the weekend. We were talking earlier when you were here, and you specified, great games, not necessarily great played games, had some errors, miscues, things like that. But if you want back and forth baseball, 1-run games, 2-run games, you got it with this Houston series. The problem was East Carolina came out on the bad side of it twice.
Yeah, I think we saw 3 games where it was almost a situation where every pitch mattered. And I think that you don't see it that a lot in college baseball series. And usually even any kind of series that you watch, you'll have a close game or 2. You usually don't have 3 that are ultra close. And these 3 could have gone either way. I mean, the Pirates could have swept. The Pirates could have been swept. And, they could have won 2 out of 3. They could have lost 2 or 3, which they did. It was really even, I thought.
We usually have the players on Mondays, Delcor Players Lounge, but ECU practiced today. And, you can speculate why that is. Is it because they lost the series? Is it because they've been struggling midweek, so they want to do a Monday practice ahead of a Tuesday game? Or is it just because of the way the week falls, where you've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week instead of the traditional Friday, Saturday, Sunday? So either way, they're practicing today. We'll try to catch up with the guys on Wednesday, but you got to... First of all, Bailey, before the weekend, it was man, we got to win some midweek games. Now it's we just got to win some games, right? You got to kind of snap out of this little funk they're in here.
Well, they got an 8-game homestand coming up. All starts with NC State, and obviously a win over NC State heals a lot of wounds from the last 4 games. But they started slowly last year, and they caught fire. I still think it's a matter of just being spoiled with how good they are. And I think that most everybody that's a Pirate fan says, okay, we know we're gonna host a regional. Maybe we'll play well enough to host a super, but we know we'll be there, and that's just not what most programs can do. And I think that part of that and I'm the same way. I mean, I expected them to go down to Houston and win 3, not have any problem, because Houston came in 11-12, I think, when the series started. But you could tell by watching the games that they were 2 pretty even baseball teams. Now, East Carolina gets another shot at them later in the tournament. I think, things could be different. I really like East Carolina's pitching, the starting pitching. The bullpen's let them down a couple of times. And some of it's been kind of flukish, really. That 3-run home run was it just, the ball was heading down the line. I thought it was going to be foul. And then it hit something. And then the announcers, who weren't all that stellar, but they said something to the effect of, it hit the foul pole. And I thought, well, dang, if it hit the foul pole, that's trouble. That's a 3-run homer.
Yeah.
It was.
And I think we should call it the fair pole, not the foul pole.
That's what it should be called.
Yeah.
Sure.
Josh Thomas, Pirate Radio listener, was at the Dale Murphy event yesterday, the VIP at Tiebreaker, so I'm going to give him credit for this one. This would have been a lot cooler, and I might have led the show with it if ECU would have won yesterday. But he said, ECU lost their first conference game last year, right? And I said, huh? Really? Yeah, they lost 7-3 to Cincinnati. Now, they went on to win that Saturday and Sunday and go to 2-1 in league play. But they have dominated this conference, Bailey. But they did start off last year with a loss, and we saw how it ended up. So hopefully we can be saying the same thing in a few weeks now.
And their last conference series loss, I believe, was last April against, was it Tulane, at Tulane?
Lost 2 out of 3 there, yep.
Yeah, so I think, it's not, the best thing that could have happened is that none of the teams swept. So you're only a game out of first place after the first weekend. I mean, teams either went 2-1 or 1-2. So that shows everything's pretty even right now. And I think a couple of teams will pull away. I think if Houston plays like they played this weekend, I really did think they played pretty good baseball this weekend.
I think we might just see teams kind of beat up on each other, right? And nobody kind of pull away unless it's ECU. So,
yeah.
Brian, hey, Chandler, were you around yesterday when Bailey physically assaulted me? Were you there at the table at that time?
I don't believe I was around.
Man, I hope there were some witnesses to that.
Was there? I don't think anybody saw it.
Yeah, it was. He gave me a Ric Flair chop that had me feeling it a few minutes later. So Bailey was at tiebreakers, and
you got me back today.
What? Yeah, I did. I didn't do that on purpose. I swear.
Blew my ears out.
I didn't mean to. Hey, you'll be glad to know we got it figured out before my show, so my ears aren't going to get blown out.
That's what Shirley said. Shirley said, well, all Clip said was he wanted to make sure it was fixed before he went on.
I did not say that. That is not true. But yesterday, Dale Murphy was there. He was so awesome with everybody, gave everybody time, and everybody would have had more time if Brian Bailey didn't talk to him for 30 minutes on camera. That was the joke I made, and then Bailey Ric Flaired me, and I didn't say nothing else to Bailey the rest of the day.
Right.
I was scared of him.
Little chop.
Man, how awesome, though, was he, Bailey, just to talk to?
He was great. I mean, he really was. I didn't know what to expect. I figured, everything you've ever read about him and watched him on TV, that he was like an All-American type guy, and he was even more than that. He was really just very sincere, and I think he really appreciated being there. I think he's one of those guys that looks back on his career and knows that he had the best of times, and I hope he gets in the Hall of Fame someday. I think he was that type of player, and I would have asked him about that, but I was running out of time. But I really enjoyed talking to him because he was so easy.
Yeah,
you asked a question and he just went. He was really easy about stuff and asked about the rule changes in baseball and just different things like that. So it was. I was glad I got a chance to meet him. It was a neat deal.
He did an interview with Ellerby before all the festivities yesterday, and I just heard it for the first time when we ran it. And he said that Ted Turner, and he said the announcers too, but I really agree with him. Ted Turner should be in the Baseball Hall of Fame for what he did, putting the Braves on TBS and making a nation and at least a region of baseball fans. And you can say the same for WGN as well, Bailey, because you watch the Cubbies. I grew up watching the Braves and Cubbies and a little bit of Orioles on Home Team Sports. But just to put baseball on televisions in homes, nobody else was doing that. And he said Ted Turner should be in the Hall of Fame. I agree with him.
He was talking about that in my interview, and he said, there were those that watched the Cubs, and I said that I'd be one of those.
Yeah.
I was in college, and I'd come home in the afternoone and work on homework because I was at Old Dominion. Old Dominion at the time didn't have a whole lot of dorm space, so I was at home. And I'd drive back home and I'd watch, turn the TV on, watch the game, do my homework and stuff, and just fell in love with Harry Carey through the TV, through the the networks like that with WGN and TBS for the Braves. So yeah, that was really really cool how they did that and how he appreciated that as a player because he's a lot more famous and a lot more popular because of that.
Brian Bailey joining us. You can check out the Brian Bailey Show if you missed it earlier at 6 o'clock. He talked to Jules Montaner, the new corners coach for ECU. And that's an interesting position, Bailey. We were talking about it beforehand that you lose Malik Fleming and Jawan Powell. You've got a couple guys on the roster from last year that hope to step up. They're bringing in some other talent from the outside to try to stack that position. So kind of, and even when you'd asked him about personnel and the team, he's kind of getting his footing here. East Carolina had to make some quick hires here in the offseason to replenish the coaching staff, and he's one of those guys.
Yeah, and one of the funniest part of the interview is when I brought up the Temple game from last year.
Yeah.
I said he was a cornerback coach last year for Temple, and I said, well, I know that gave you gray hairs against East Carolina. Blake Harrell he was pulling his hair out in that game. That was a high-scoring game that East Carolina came back and won. But I sure enjoyed talking to Coach Jules. I hadn't met him yet, so that was pretty much a cold interview. But he did a great job with it, very informative, and just a neat guy.
Yeah, and you can check that out coming up at 6 o'clock. And Bailey, great Pirate Purple Gold Pigskin Pig Out. Is that what you like to? Is that it?
The great Pirate Purple Gold Pigskin Pig Out party.
Yeah, coming up on Saturday. And you asked me earlier, so what you gonna do for the spring game? I said, yeah, I'll go out there. What time's the baseball game, by the way? And you said noon. And I said, well, I won't be there. I will be at Clark LeClaire, so I'll be missing all the spring action on Saturday. But weather permitting, we'll have a lot going on out there.
Yeah, and that's the key, weather permitting. And so they may have to move the baseball game around, or who knows what will happen with the football game because you don't want to get anybody hurt. But hopefully the weather will stay clear. So we'll see how that goes. But it should be a big day.
All right, BB. So late night for you tonight. Anything else on the horizon with WNCT to keep an eye on?
No, we're going to do a special pregame show on Saturday for the spring game. That's going to be streamed. It's the first time anybody's ever done it, so we're going to do that. Coach Houston's going to be on with us. Donnie Kirkpatrick, Blake Harrell, Holton Ahlers is coming by. So we've got a lot of folks coming by to do that. So that's going to be streamed exclusively on WNCT.com. So kind of looking forward to that. If you can't go to the spring game, you can get a taste of it. We won't be showing the spring game live or anything like that, but just kind of get everybody ready for the spring football game.
Sounds good. Bailey, thanks for joining us, man, and have a great week.
Sounds good. Thank you.
BB, Brian Bailey joining us here on this Monday edition of Pirate Radio Live. Let's take a break. We'll come back. More to go in hour number 2. Back with you after this.
Getting a Jersey Mike's sub top Mike's way with onion, lettuce, tomatoes, oregano, and the juice is the bee's knees. Actually, it's better than the bee's knees. I mean, what's the purpose of knees on bees? They don't crouch, they just buzz around. But Mike's Way has a purpose, topping your sub the authentic Jersey way. It's the cat's pajamas. Wait, cats don't wear pajamas. Mike's Way is better. Let's just leave it at that. Get your sub top Mike's Way. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
With over 30 locations across North Carolina and southeastern Virginia, Quality Equipment is your local John Deere dealer, where you'll find everything you need for your next project. Our complete lineup of John Deere lawn and garden, agricultural, and commercial worksite equipment comes with years of experience, expertise, and dedication. We know what it takes to get it done right. Stop by today or visit us online at qualityequip.com.
At US Cellular, you can get one line for just $29.99 with unlimited data, which is good news for you, friendly hermit who shuns society and lives in a cabin all by himself.
Wow, thanks. You know, you'd be surprised how much data a hermit goes through.
Actually, I'm not that surprised at all. US Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
This is Brandon Tate, owner and operator of Atlantic Wireless, an authorized agent for US Cellular since 1997. Visit atlanticwireless.com to find the store near you. We go beyond the call.
It's bow time. Sometimes the craving for Bojangles Supremes is so strong you've just gotta have them. Even when your gas tank is on empty and Bojangles is still 10 miles down the highway. Nothing beats the flavor of Bojangles Juicy Golden Supremes, especially when they're part of a perfect combo with 4 boldly seasoned chicken Supremes, a made-from-scratch biscuit, fixin', and some legendary iced tea. The only thing that can satisfy your hunger is that delicious southern flavor. So when the craving is supreme, put the pedal to the metal. It's bow time.
For years, Callie Ann Phelps has been singing about Phelps Chevrolet.
Phelps Chevrolet is the one for you. Low, low prices, service too. See the big dealer right away. Carolina's finest, Phelps Chevrolet.
And you'll agree with what Skylar Phelps has to say.
Nobody beats Phelps Chevrolet's prices. Nobody.
The name you can depend on. Phelps Chevrolet.
Get you one.
The Rick House is Eastern North Carolina's premier restaurant and bourbon authority. Jefferson's, Basil Hayden, Woodford Reserve, and a Midwinter Night's Dram are just a few of the incredible bourbon options. The Rick House features the very best steaks and fresh, made-from-scratch pastas. The Rick House can host your corporate event or special parties in the 3,000-square-foot banquet hall. Join the Rick House for Sunday brunch from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and for the wine tastings on the last Friday of every month. The Rick House.
North Carolina State Parks invites you to enjoy camping your way. With the weather changing, booking your own cabin is the perfect solution for your camping getaway. Reserve campsites or cabins today at Jones Lake, Goose Creek, and Cliffs of the Neuse. Whether you enjoy traditional camping or air-conditioned cabins that can be rented with Wi-Fi, your next adventure can include hiking, beautiful scenery, and sunsets by the campfire. For information on booking a cabin, visit ncparks.gov.
This is Jacob Jenkins Cowart, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by Country Mart. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations, in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food and your engines with great gasoline. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Be sure to check out David Price Construction for all of your commercial or custom residential renovation and building needs. Run by ECU alumni, David Price Construction specializes in commercial projects, maintenance on facilities, and large-scale residential renovations and additions. David Price Construction, the proud ECU home services partner. Call them today at 919-291-5532 or visit them online at davidpriceconstruction.com. Now let's head back in to PRL. Here's Cliff.
All right, Chandler doing his part, trying to get the crowd hyped up for a little safety dance.
Man, that wears you out. Do it for a while.
Robert Skipper is here.
Yeah.
He says, hey, yo.
Hey.
What's up, Skip? How we doing? What's on your mind on this Monday? What's on your mind, Chandler? You give me a what I always ask you before football, your hype level or your maybe a confidence level. What's your hype level for this championship game tonight?
Hype level? I'd rather see the U in it. I don't know. I mean, I always get excited for a national championship game.
This is not the sexiest of matchups.
No, it's not. But I mean, I think it's unique. I think I'm excited about the uniqueness of the national championship game. I'm glad to see UConn back. UConn's made it a few times. They won a couple of times, and they're finally back in it with a familiar face for Pirate fans, with Tristan Newton. Excited about him potentially getting a national championship tonight. So I would say I would probably go 7.3.
All right. That's higher than I expected. Not bad. I mean, I'm more at a I'm pretty much down the middle at a 5. I hope it's a good game. I'm holding out hope that San Diego State can actually be the first team to challenge Connecticut. We just have not seen that so far in this tournament. So they don't have enough offense. They are going to have a great defensive game, and UConn is going to have to be off offensively for them to have a chance. They do have some size. They can maybe battle with Sunoco, but yeah, I don't know.
And they need to try to get a lead and obviously keep that lead, but they can't get down like they did the other night against Miami or whoever they played, and got down 14 and then storm back in the last 10 minutes. I don't think that can happen tonight if you get yourself in that position again against a very good UConn team. So they got to play fast out the gate. We shall see if they can do that.
All right. Robert said, how is ye?
How is ye?
Nada. Off today and tomorrow. He said, nice to see non-Power 5 teams in. In basketball, there is a Power 6, including the Big East. So
P6.
You can kind of, yeah. And in football, P6 includes us with the American, according to the flag we have that we run out on the field with.
That infuriates Patrick Mason.
Sure, yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, UConn is a power in basketball. San Diego State, certainly not. They have been really, really good. The problem is the Mountain West stinks in the tournament. And we saw it again this year because they had Utah State, Boise State, and who am I forgetting about? One other, I want to say, in the Mountain West lose in the tournament. I think they had 4 teams. But I might be off on that. But anyway, they have struggled in the tournament in recent years, but San Diego State able to kind of knock down that door this year. me see who else was in the tournament from the Mountain West. I want to say there was another team. No,
Utah State?
maybe I'm wrong. Utah State, Boise State, and Nevada was in.
Nevada.
Yeah, that was it. That was the 4th team. So they go whatever San Diego State's done in 3, because all those teams lost early in the tournament. All right. So there's that going on. Congrats to your Nats for winning the game.
Yeah, I was very excited.
It's cool to see Mackenzie Gore, right?
Yeah, that was very exciting. I knew he was going to be in the starting rotation over the weekend sometime, and I forgot that there was that one off day on Friday. And I was like, well, let me look up and see what day he is scheduled to start. And sure enough, it was on Sunday, the same day that we were going to be hanging out with Dale Murphy watching the Braves and Nationals at Tiebreaker. So I thought that was really cool to be able to hang out with Dale Murphy and watch his former team, the Braves, and my favorite team, the Nats, go at it. And a local kid, if you will, with Mackenzie Gore being from Whiteville, North Carolina, in the pride of Columbus County. So I thought he was outstanding yesterday. I think he had 6 strikeouts and was credited with the win, his first win in a Nationals uniform.
Yeah, Braves beat up on Nats pitching pretty good the previous 2 games, and Mackenzie Gore was having none of that. None at all. Randolph on YouTube said, Chandler, I was watching Andy Griffin the show with Goat and Otis in the police office.
Yes, sir.
And then he said, Chandler, you watched Golden Girls or Andy Griffin yesterday?
I did. I've actually steered away from Golden Girls, and I'm actually watching Andy Griffith right now.
Okay.
That's kind of my feel-good show right now. It changes every so often. Like, it was Cheers a few months back. And then right now it's currently Andy Griffith.
You like the old classics?
Yes, I do. It reminds me of my grandma. So
That's nice.
Go to her house and watch Andy Griffith all the time.
I walked in Friday. Not only did I see equipment everywhere in every room, I saw Golden Girls on the TV.
It was on the TV.
Was that your doing?
No, that was me.
Okay, that was Shirley's doing. Okay.
Yeah, because I got here to the studio because I was asked to be here when the computer guys got here in case I had questions, as far as our setup goes and our upgrades. And they just got to work, and I looked, and there were all these computer parts on the floor, and I'm like, yeah, this is a little out of my league. I'm just going to go in the studio and sit here. And I told the guys, I said, if you have any questions, just I'll be over here.
I'll be watching Golden Girls.
And I was like, let's just flip on. And like a dummy, I said, well, let's see if there's any sports on, because I forgot what time it was. It was like 9:30 by then. And I was like, why would sports be on at 9:30 in the morning? So flipping through the channels, and I spotted Golden Girls, and I was like, too bad Chandler's not here. I'm going to flip it on, though.
Yeah, I got here, and Wes was in here. Wes had stayed the night here, basically. And I said, did you listen to the show yesterday, me talking about Golden Girls, and you put the Golden Girls on for me? But he was like, that wasn't me. And come to find out, it was Shirley. But I did enjoy watching some of that in here on Friday.
I'd just like to say thank y'all for being a friend.
Thank you for being a friend. It actually kind of helped calm the nerves a little bit, because it was a bleep show in here on Friday. Like you said, Clip, equipment everywhere. You had 3 people in this one room doing different things. And with the help of Golden Girls, it was able to relax me a little bit.
For sure.
In terms of relaxing.
And by the way, I did say thank you.
Of course.
Of course.
Well done.
You did that yesterday, I believe.
I know, yeah. Let's take a break. We'll come back. Hour 3, Pirate Radio Live. When we return, former Pirate first baseman Bryce Harman. He was at Clark LeClaire a couple of weekends ago, watching the Pirates and watching Missouri State, because he's a scout now. So we'll talk about what he's up to these days and relive some of his memories for playing for 2 Godwins, Billy and Cliff. Bryce Harman joins us hour 3. We'll make you a winner as well. It's all ahead when we return. Pirate Radio Live after this.
Great food, great atmosphere, and great service is Ottavola Market Cafe. Ottavola is simply a restaurant that focuses on that, being a great restaurant. There's something for everyone at Ottavola. The menu offers a variety of great choices like pastas, pizzas, sandwiches, soups, salads, and seasonal rotating selections. Lunch or dinner, Ottavola is always the right call. Call ahead and get Ottavola to go, or stop by the bar for a drink with friends. It's simple. Come and eat at Ottavola Market Cafe, Red Banks Road next to Food Lion, and OttavolaMarket.com. Ottavola, Pirates supporting pirates.
Here with Jeff Stein at Brown & Wood. Jeff, what can you do for people looking for a new vehicle in 2023?
We can show the people the number one selling car in the region, the Buick Encore, the Encore GX, the Envision, and the Buick Enclave. We've also got Cadillac dominating the market with the XT4, XT5, and XT6, and we continue to get new GMC Sierra trucks in daily. Please come see us at 329 Southwest Greenville Boulevard. Brown & Wood, 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 rooftops, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
The Buccaneer Music Hall is your beacon of music in the land of the Pirates. They're open every day and have live music every night, along with 18 big screen TVs to watch all your favorite sporting events. Tuesday, it's karaoke with DJ Captain Morgan. Wednesdays, it's line dancing. Thursday night is the dance party with DJ Kid Scene. And live music every Friday and Saturday night with the best bands on the East Coast. Follow the Buck on Instagram for more information on scheduled events. And we'll see you at the Buck.
Hey Pirate Nation, Lindsay Gray here with Carolina Caliber. In 1960, my granddaddy started his firearm business right here in Eastern NC. Still family owned and operated, we have the area's largest selection for outdoor shooting sports and accessories and are one of the nation's top firearm dealers. At Carolina Caliber, we have everything you need from hunting, home defense, and personal protection, including a wide variety for ladies and youth. We buy, sell, and trade. It's a time-honored tradition. Visit us at Carolina Caliber on Fire Tower Road in Winterville.
This is Aaron Williams with Ease Plumbing.
This is Mike Hoggart with Viva Electric.
This is Mark McLaughlin, Roland Black Heating and Cooling.
We have teamed up to form New Blue Service Group, offering Eastern North Carolina the best in plumbing, electrical, and HVAC services. Same great local team, same great local service, just a new name. Contact us at callnewblue.com. That's callnublue.com. New Blue Service Group, where we are redefining service excellence. Call us today to help with your plumbing, electrical, and HVAC services. Go Pirates.
Familia is your go-to spot for the best Italian dishes around, including pizzas, pastas, salads, and homemade desserts.
That's Familia.
Enjoy half-off wine night on Wednesdays, $3 drafts on Thursdays, or get a pizza of the week for just $12.
That's Familia.
Place your order online or call 689-6330, and Familia will have your order ready in their drive-thru window for pickup.
That's Familia.
Clip, really?
Oh, sorry.
Familia on Fire Tower Road in Winterville near Pitt Community College.
Did you know 1 in 5 Americans use alternative wellness practices? And this number is growing with good reason. Your CBD store empowers modern wellness through premium hemp products. We're the #1 CBD brick and mortar in the world with products for sleep, focus, recovery, and more. Our products are the gold standard in hemp wellness. Your CBD store, Greenville, 420 East Arlington Boulevard, or call 999-5127.
Must be 18 years of age. This statement has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville, do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Carolina Caliber has the area's largest selection for outdoor shooting sports and accessories and is one of the top firearm dealers anywhere. They have everything you need for hunting, home defense, and personal protection, including a wide variety for ladies and youth. Carolina Caliber will buy, sell, and trade. Carolina Caliber, locally owned and operated since 1960 on Fire Tower Road in Winterville. Now, let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip.
All right, back with you on Pirate Radio Live. We like talking to current pirates as well as pirates from the past and find out what they're up to these days, relive some glory days, but really find out what they've been up to since leaving East Carolina University. And since finishing up with ECU Athletics today, we'll do that with Bryce Harman, who I had a chance to see a couple of weeks ago at Clark LeClaire Stadium, and found out he was doing some scouting for the Philadelphia Phillies, and was able to catch up with him a little bit then, and we'll do it even more now as he joins us on the Pirate Radio Live line. And Bryce, great to catch up with you, man. Welcome back to Pirate Radio. How you doing today?
Clip, I appreciate you asking me on the show. I've always been a big fan of Pirate Radio, and now that I'm graduated in the real world, good to get back on here and catch up a little bit.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you asking me on the show.
And saw you at Clark LeClaire Stadium. You walked in the press box, and I got to admit, I didn't even recognize you because you're always big, tall, but you I called you a gam, a grown A man when I saw you there in the press box. And it's funny, Bryce, because I was sitting, Max Stokes, former umpire, was running the scoreboard that day, and you chatted it up with him, and he said, that's Bryce Harman, right? And I said, yeah. And he said, yeah, I don't remember everybody's names, but I remember his because of how much he talked. So you left a lasting impression, Bryce, during your playing days, even with umpires.
Well, I walked up there, and it looked like you saw a ghost. You told me that you were announcing games now, and I headed up there, and I saw you sitting there, and you looked at me, and it looked like you saw a ghost. But no, it was good to see you and Mac. Yeah, Mac remembers my name, obviously, because of how much I ran my mouth back in my heyday, and luckily Mac was never one to throw me out of the game, so I'm fortunate about that.
Yeah, and I asked him, and then I'll ask you: are you running your mouth at him, at the opposing team, at your teammates, all the above? How much talking was going on the field, Bryce?
Oh, I was never running my mouth towards my teammates. It was just usually the players and a select few umpires. And I know Coach Godwin might listen to this, but he was always on my tail about keeping my mouth shut. But I guess that was just what made me the player I was. I wasn't very good, with the bat in my hand, so I had to have some sort of advantage. And talking a little smack to the opposing team was my way of going about it.
Makes it fun, and you were with a fun group of guys there during your time here at ECU. And Bryce, I want to talk about your playing days, but I don't know. We'll talk about that super regional run you guys went on and winning the regional in Virginia. But I guess first of all, any other, I don't know, big moments, big games when you think about your playing days at ECU? What stands out to you the most?
Definitely going to that super regional. Obviously, we had to get there by winning the Virginia regional. That was, I have that. Coach Godwin actually sent me a picture of us dogpiling on UVA's field, which was a very good experience, obviously. But getting to the super regional, winning game one, and coming up 90 feet short in game two, and obviously it didn't go as we had hoped it would game three, but just that opportunity to be in the first team to ever win a super regional game. We don't have that. We don't have that title anymore as the only team. I know last year's team almost pulled through and got to Omaha, and I know they're going to get there soon. But a lot of good memories in my uniform at ECU, and I don't have any regrets looking back on it.
And yeah, you had a hit in that game against Virginia that got you, and you had to win a game the next day against William and Mary to get to Lubbock. But that game against Virginia, we all remember the Travis Watkins walk-off, and just kind of happened in the snap of a finger. It looked like Virginia was ready to close it out, put you guys in the loser's bracket, and kind of fight from behind. And then some magic happened in that ninth inning. And I don't like the rule. I think any home team should always be the home team, but they do flip-flop it in regionals. You guys were the home team that day, and Watkins walked it off, and just we still talk about that one.
Oh yeah, it had to be a very salty feeling, being the home team. I've actually run into a couple former players for UVA, and we always talk about that moment and talk a little smack here and there. But Travis Watkins, it's one of the biggest hits in ECU history. I can't tell you how many times that video gets pulled on replay, just hitting that home run and everybody going berserk and dogpiling at home plate.
And then so close to getting to Omaha. I had a runner on third there against Texas Tech. And I still remember that Friday night game with Cruz on the mound. I think he had just gotten drafted, I want to say, and playing with that on his brain. And Travis Watkins, I think, homered again that night. So you got that game one win so close in game two. That had to be, I know, frustrating, but hopefully even in that situation, you could look back and say, man, what a ride, what a season, what a team we had.
I think he actually homered twice on Friday night.
Yeah.
I'm not. He was just on one of those runs, as you call them, as a hitter, where everything that comes to the plate, it looks like a beach ball, and he carried us. Cruz carried us on the mound to get there. And Brady Lloyd, I remember that ball he hit up the middle didn't skid off. If it didn't skid off the mound, because their field was turf. It took that friendly hop and bounced a little bit to the left, and the shortstop was able to nab it and make the play. But we were so close. But I remember after that game, it was one of the very few times that I've ever been emotional. And I think it's just the ride in itself, it drained everybody, and we come up short. But they're getting close. I know Coach Godwin's going to knock down the door and get them to Omaha. I believe in everything that he's doing right now. And they're going to get there. It's just a matter of, getting over that hump.
Catching up with Bryce Harman, former Pirate first baseman. And Bryce, you played for Coach Godwin, and I believe played for Billy Godwin as well, right? So what was the coaching change like for you as a player? And Coach Godwin, I know, is tough. That's Cliff Godwin. Not that Billy Godwin wasn't, but was there any culture change, any mindset change when you get a new coach in?
Well, I think whenever somebody comes into a program, and I'm sure Cliff has talked about this on the show, but you have to come in, and you have to create an identity, and you have to weed out who wants to be there and who doesn't want to be there. And the culture was built around us being tough. I'll be the first one to say that those workouts were very, very tough that first fall, but I wouldn't have it any other way because it made us a cohesive unit. I can't even remember how many position players we had healthy that first spring. It had to be like 11 or 12 guys because the roster was dwindled down. We had some injuries. We had some guys transfer out. But, I had Billy as my coach. He was the one that recruited me, Billy Godwin. He was my coach my freshman year, and then, he got let go, and then Cliff came in, and I had him for 3 years. And I know by the end of my third year with Cliff, he was ready for me to move on to greener pastures. I'm sure he got tired of me running my mouth on the field and not performing enough. But it's great. I actually was able to catch up with Cliff, obviously, when I came back and visited a couple weekends ago, and seeing the hidden indoor and kind of going over old times and talking about the renovations for the press box. So.
And Bryce, I want to talk about what you're up to today, but one more question on your playing career. How about growing up and being from Virginia, being recruited by East Carolina? How did you get here, Bryce, and who else was recruiting you? Where'd you almost end up? How'd that all go for you?
So just about all the schools in the Mid-Atlantic region were actively recruiting me, and it's funny. UNC was kind of my dream school growing up, and they had actually offered me, but I went on a visit there, and to put it politely, it wasn't the avenue that I wanted to go, and I ended up taking a visit to East Carolina way back when Coach Schnabel was still the recruiting coordinator, and fell in love with it the very first time I visited. I think my dad wasn't able to visit with me the first time because he was sick and dealing with some things. And I went back the second time and I committed. And it was just an atmosphere that I fell in love with, the fans, the program itself, the history of it, and the opportunity that I thought that I could go in there and get some playing time right away was something that I didn't want to pass up. And come my senior year, Cliff, I always thought I wanted to sign at a high school. I'm in scouting now, obviously, And I always thought that I wanted to sign at a high school, but I didn't. I ended up getting drafted in the 27th round by the Washington Nationals, more of as a courtesy pick. But to me, going to school was the right move, and I don't regret that one bit because I got a degree, something that I probably wouldn't have done had I signed at a high school. I made lifelong friendships and memories with guys that I still stay in touch with on a day-to-day basis. And I learned how to grow up and be a man and how to handle things outside of baseball. And, Coach Godwin helped me for life after baseball, and he prepared me for the real world. So that I definitely very appreciative of.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I don't know what transpired on the trip to Chapel Hill, but I got to say, Bryce, just knowing a little bit about you, your attitude, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, you definitely identify more as a Pirate than a Tar Heel. I think you made the right choice there.
No doubt. I'm very glad that I made that decision.
All right, so let's talk about what you're up to, man. It was great seeing you and in your new role, scouting. So, tell us. Let's go here, Bryce. Did you try to continue your playing career after East Carolina? What happened there, and how did you eventually get into the role you're in currently?
I mean, come on, Cliff. You think somebody that hits 245 a year with minuscule power numbers has an opportunity to play baseball after college?
I don't know. There's a lot of leagues out there, Bryce. Somebody might want a tall first baseman over there.
No. I ended up graduating in 2017, and baseball has obviously been a big part of my life. And I thought I might have wanted to get into coaching or scouting, and I kind of settled upon scouting. And Billy Godwin at the time was the area scout, the New York Yankees, in North Carolina and South Carolina. So I reached out to him among other scouts, and I don't want to make this story too long, but Billy ended up getting me in contact with the Yankees scouting director, and then next thing you know, I had landed a job with the Yankees down in Florida doing some video and a little bit of scouting here and there, just to get my foot in the door. So I was with the Yankees for 2 years, living in Tampa, Florida, working out of the complex and traveling and seeing amateur guys. And then in November of 2019, my now scouting director with the Phillies, Brian Barber, he was the national cross-checker with the Yankees for over 20 years, and he got the scouting director position with the Phillies. He ended up hiring me, making me his first hire, which I don't know if that was a good or a bad decision or not, but I'm still with him. So I got hired as the area scout to cover Central and North Florida, and I did that for 3 years. Ended up drafting 3 guys and signing 1 after the draft, so 4 players total that I was able to sign. And then back in November of this past year, 2022, he came to me about an opportunity to have a little bit more responsibility seeing college performers. So my title is a little weird. I've been traveling all over the East Coast this spring, but my title, quote unquote, is performance specialist. So I'm able to see college performers all over the East Coast, as well as seeing analytic darlings, guys that maybe we need a little bit more looks on and some video on. So I've been traveling quite a bit on the East Coast. I was able to obviously see you guys against Missouri State a couple Sundays ago. It's been a whirlwind. A lot of traveling this role, but I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun, and I'm learning along the way.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And I'm just curious, when you're scouting, like when you're at ECU Missouri State, obviously you have a relationship with Cliff Godwin, so you catch up with him. But are you kind of behind the scenes in the shadows watching, or are you able to talk to the coaches? Are you able to talk to any players at all? Like, what do you do when you are traveling at an event?
Well, you lean on the area scout for the information on what players that they want you to see. That's first and foremost. Area scouts are the backbone of our industry. But definitely talking to coaches. I try to utilize that as much as I can. I'm lucky enough to have some relationships in the Carolinas and the Virginia areas where you definitely want to talk to the coach, make sure the kid's healthy. Maybe he's going through a slump, and you want to talk to him about what his mindset is and the character of the kid and the overall makeup, because at the end of the day, when we're considering drafting and signing the guy, we want to make sure that he's in this for the long haul and he's not going to give up when he gets to AA and starts struggling a little bit.
And Bryce, you're not an old man by any means, but man, a whole lot of changes just to the rules since you've been out of baseball, and it's all happened kind of fast with the pitch clock. And in Major League Baseball, they have banned the shift. They've got bigger bases, the throw over rules. So just rule change after rule change here. I don't know. What are your thoughts on it? It seems like everybody's adapting, I guess, as good as they can. I'll say this, college games have a much better pace this year than they've had in the past, so I'll take that. But what are your thoughts on all these changes to baseball?
Well, the first time I ever got to experience it was last summer. I was doing some pro coverage in Palm Beach, and I had 5 games that I had to see that week, and there wasn't a single game that went over 2 hours and 10 minutes. So
wow.
I'm a fan of it. Now, the rules with the pickoff, the shift, everybody can have their opinion on it, but the pickoff seems a little extreme to me. But it kind of is what it is. Luckily, we have Trey Turner on our team, and he's definitely going to use that to his advantage and swipe a bunch of bags. But I just can't keep up with them all. I don't know which ones are in college.
Right.
Starting to trickle down into high school ranks now. So definitely a learning lesson for everybody involved. That's for sure.
And how about, Bryce, as far as looking at talent, especially position players and hitters, is it the same kind of things you did growing up where, yeah, you want to hit home runs, but making contact? I remember, like, when I was a kid, the A to C swing and then hit line drives. Well, now it seems like power is the premium. You want home runs. You want the long ball. So the things you're scouting, looking for, is it any different than maybe you were taught growing up? How much has that part of the game changed?
Well, I know there's a reason why nobody scouted me my junior years, because I didn't make enough contact. That's kind of where you need to start. If we're going to talk about hitters, Clip, is you have to make enough contact. You can have all the power in the world, but if you can't hit the ball to get to the power, then what is it good for? So yeah. I think there needs to be, there is a starting point on that. And it all comes down to tools and profiles. If a guy plays center field and he can really run and he can really defend, then the power is less of a priority when it comes to profiling. So I was a big left-handed hitting first baseman. Sure, I had power, but I never really got to it. So that didn't make me very good. Not a good prospect.
Well, it turned into a pretty good scout. That's awesome. And so, Bryce, what's next for you? You said you were finally back home in Florida, catch your breath, set up your schedule a little bit. So just give us an example of what your work week or work month looks like here in April. What you got going on?
Well, I've knocked out quite a few of the guys that I've been looking forward to seeing. So honestly, this week I'll take a couple days in Florida, get my feet underneath me, and kind of see where we need extra looks on throughout the East Coast, and maybe make another trip up to the Mid-Atlantic area. I was there about 2 weeks ago, so probably head back up there and see some guys, but hopefully able to get back to Richmond and see my folks for Easter this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Good deal. Hey, Bryce, great to catch up with you, man. This was a lot of fun, and we'll be kind of following your career now and what you're doing. I don't know, have you thought about your end goal here? What's the ultimate spot you'd like to be? Would you like to just stay in scouting here the rest of your baseball career, or you have other aspirations?
No, scouting is, I think I've found my calling.
Cool, yeah.
I'm enjoying a bunch and don't have any end goals. I'm just taking it day by day and trying to improve as a scout and hopefully find the next superstar for the Phillies.
There you go. Well, as a Braves fan, I hope that doesn't happen. But for you personally, I hope it does, Bryce. So I'll root for you in that regard. Bryce Harman joining us today. Bryce, thanks so much, man. Great catching up with you. We'll keep in touch and maybe chat with you again down the road sometime.
All right, Clip. I appreciate you bringing me on here. Go Pirates.
Former Pirate Bryce Williams, Bryce Harman. Bryce Williams will join us Tuesday. Bryce Harman joining us on the show. Great interview, and just kind of shows how much he has grown up, and now he's working with the Major League Baseball team. Pretty cool. So getting it done, and looking forward to following him. And where does this lead next? He said he's really carved out a niche for himself in the scouting world, and will continue to try to grow in that regard. But looks like he's off to a great start to his professional career when it comes to scouting. All right, let's take a break. When we return, we'll hear from Mike Houston. He will join us coming up. Am I on? Have I been on the whole time?
Yes, I had a button pushed over
okay,
there, so
all right, good. Just making sure, because now I can hear myself again.
Yeah.
When we return, Mike Houston from Saturday, following ECU's second scrimmage, what he had to say. Any players, individuals stand out. We'll hear from Coach Houston, and we'll make you a winner. It's all coming up next right here on Pirate Radio Live on a Monday. Back with you after this.
Are you one of the estimated 17 million people in the U.S. suffering from dry eye disorders that are not resolved using over-the-counter or prescription eye drops? Ask ArcPoint Labs about Serum Tears, a natural dry eye solution. At ArcPoint Labs, Serum Tears are tailor-made for you, from a quick blood draw, providing a sterile and natural option to help those with dry eye conditions. Contact your ophthalmologist or optometrist for a prescription, or contact ArcPoint Labs to help you find one. Visit ArcPoint Labs' new location on Dixon Avenue near the intersection of Arlington Boulevard, or schedule online at arcpointlabs.com.
In studio today with Frank Lee with Appliances Superstore. Frank, why should people go see you?
We make buying appliances easy, just that simple. We have the largest selection of in-stock appliances in Eastern North Carolina, which helps our customers save money every day. We offer a 12-month warranty on our appliances, plus we deliver and set up your new appliances and remove your old ones. Come visit us at the Appliances Superstore off 264 behind the new DMV, or shop us online at AppliancesSuperstore.com. Remember, we make buying appliances easy at the Appliances Superstore.
Wally's 2 Kettle Corn in Winterville is where you can find the tastiest popcorn around. Make it a movie night at home with Wally's 2 Kettle Corn. They have over 50 flavors to choose from, including classics like cheddar, caramel, and my favorite, better butter. Or try their specialty flavors such as Chicago Style, Wintergreen Mix, and MJ's Cheesecake. Wally's 2 also caters, so if you're hosting a party or event, satisfy your company with delicious popcorn. Check them out on Facebook or stop by and see Wally today on Fire Tower Road across from Sam Jones Barbecue. Wally's 2 Kettle Corn. Make it a poppin' day.
Did you know that it's illegal to dig without first calling 811? 811 is a free program that locates underground utilities, marking them with flags and paint lines so you know where not to dig. Accidentally digging into utility lines interrupts service and could seriously hurt you or someone else. If you know someone who's planning to dig, encourage them to call 811 at least 3 full working days before they dig. 811 is free, it's safe, and it's the law. This message is brought to you by Greenville Utilities and this station.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville, do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers.
The convenience of Pitt Greenville Airport is waiting just outside your front door. Service is back, so you're connected to destinations worldwide through flights from American Airlines. Plan your next trip. Book your flights today at flypgv.com or aa.com.
Avoid the long check-in lines and congestion at the big airports and fly local at PGV. Fast, convenient, and close to home, PGV has American airline flights perfect for your next trip. Book today at AA.com. PGV, where the pirates fly.
Do you ever talk to yourself about where to eat today, and then you hear
Warren's Hot Dogs?
Then you're thinking, yeah, 2 hot dogs, chips, and a drink for only $6.25 would be awesome.
Warren's Hot Dogs.
And maybe some homemade lemonade, perhaps a pizza or a sub, and definitely an apple or peach turnover.
Warren's Hot Dogs.
Don't overthink where to eat today. Go to Warren's Hot Dogs in Greenville, across from Ron Ayers, or in Chocowinity next to the fire station. Warren's Hot Dogs, serving the Pirate Nation since 1991. Go Pirates!
Do you need custom t-shirts, apparel, or promotional items for your business, organization, or event? Keep it local. Print it local with University Sportswear. University Sportswear ENC.com is your one-stop shop for all promotional products for your business. With over 1 million items to shop from, University Sportswear ENC.com offers high-quality products at prices to fit any budget. Visit University Sportswear ENC.com for contact information and to get shopping. University Sportswear ENC.com, the official sportswear provider of Pirate Radio.
Pirate Radio.
We have a standard for the way you're going to play, and we're going to start making sure that we point out those that are meeting the standard, and everybody else has to rise to that. You have to. There is no choice. You have to rise to the standard, because the standard is what wins.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine has been caring for Pirate Nation and the student athletes at East Carolina University for more than 35 years and are the official team physicians for ECU. Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center provides a variety of general and specialized operative and non-operative orthopedic services to meet the needs of the patients in Eastern North Carolina. For more information, call 757-2663 or visit orthoeast.com. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip.
Back with you. Pirate Radio Live here on a Monday. Earlier today, the Brewers beat the Mets 10-0, and in that 10-0 game, while it was 10-0, Mark Canha from the Mets struck out because he didn't get in the batter's box fast enough. So he got called out on strikes due to a pitch clock violation. It's just still weird to see in Major League Baseball. Ump comes from behind the catcher, walks around the catcher, points at the guy, does the Dame Lillard, hit the watch, and Canha walks back to the dugout. There you go. Great at bat.
It happened 3 separate times during that at bat, or was that just the final strike?
That was the final strike.
Okay.
Yeah. So he walked back to the dugout. We got a grand slam that just occurred in Chicago. Not good for P. Mace's White Sox. They now trail 11-3 to the Giants. So the Giants just piling on more runs here late in that one in the top of the 9th inning.
They're off to a resounding start too. They are on a tear so far.
The Cubbies are in Cincinnati tonight to face the Reds. It'll be Twins at Marlins. The Phillies are 0-3, and they play the Yankees tonight. Phillies were blanked. They were swept by the Rangers over the weekend. Rays at the Nationals. Nats coming off a win yesterday. Pirates at Red Sox. Red Sox lost opening day and then won 2 in a row. They play Pittsburgh tonight in Fenway. It'll be the Blue Jays at Royals. 2-1 Braves versus 2-1 Cardinals tonight as they will play on ESPN+. I guess Burley should be in the lineup after what he did.
Burley is in the lineup.
Awesome. So Burley will face Charlie Morton tonight. And the Braves, you can watch that on ESPN+. Orioles at Rangers. And we'll have some O's baseball coming your way soon, but not tonight because we have live coverage of the National Championship. Tigers at Astros, Angels at Mariners, Guardians at A's, D-backs at Padres, Rockies at Dodgers. So it is a Monday, and everybody playing in Major League Baseball. Great games going on the Buccaneer Music Hall scoreboard presented by Dubuck. And our coverage begins. What time's our coverage begin, Shirley? Is it after the Bailey Show or later?
Yeah, 7:30 is
7:30.
Yeah, so after the Bailey Show, we'll pick it up.
7:30. You can check out live coverage, pregame coverage of the national championship. Spring football also going on as we talk hoops, baseball, and we'll get some football talk in. Mike Houston met with the media after Saturday's scrimmage, the second scrimmage for ECU with the spring game coming up this Saturday. Here's what he had to say on Saturday.
Good day, second scrimmage in the books. Somewhere around 100 snaps again today. A lot more like a game with special teams and everything, and didn't really have a scripted field position for anything except for the 2-minute drill there at the end. But had all the situations come up, which is really, really good. And I thought we looked much sharper this week than we did last week, and I was pleased with last week, so that's a positive. Both 2-minute situations there at the end, we hit the kick, okay? So that's a positive too, to be able to operate in that situation and get yourself in a situation to win the game, and then actually hit the kick to win the game. So that's a positive for our specialists. So I think overall a very positive, second scrimmage, positive third week of practice, and get ready for our final week and our spring game next Saturday at 11 a.m.
You brought up special teams. Obviously, even in the off season like this, it's going to be a battle between the guys.
Yeah.
How has that been, in kind of iron sharpening iron for them?
Well, I mean, they all understand what's at stake. There's our punting position, our snapping position, our holding position, our place kicker, our kickoff specialist. Every single position is up for grabs. And that's why I told them today. I said, I don't want to hear anything about the wind and the weather today, because it's tough conditions out here. We're going to find out who can operate with a little bit of adversity. And so I thought that was very positive. And we had, live kickoff versus live kickoff return. We had 4 reps of that. We had 6 live punts versus a live punt return. I don't know how many field goals we got, but we got several. So we got all the situations in today from a special teams standpoint.
Getting to simulate games out here, how have you seen the guys grow more comfortable, especially some of the new faces there?
Well, I think it helps everybody. There's no doubt. I mean, it's just different when you get officials and you get in the stadium and the coaches aren't standing there with you. Everything's on a signal. I think it helps the quarterbacks the most because you can try to replicate that in practice, but there's nothing like true game-like situations. And so just like, with both quarterbacks there in the 2-minute situation, I mean, that's real situations that we'll be in this fall. Chances to go drive and win the ball game, and you're competing. So I think it helps everybody, but most of all, it helps our 2 signal callers.
Speaking of that, a lot of new offensive pieces, and then obviously quarterbacks. How has the timing gotten better for them in these game-like experiences? Because, like you said, you can't always replicate that in practice.
Well, I think it's getting better and better. A little disappointed in some of our drop passes today, but again, we had some guys make some great catches today. So you got some guys that are really kind of separating themselves in the receiver room, and I think that's positive too, because you got to kind of know who your guys are going into the summer.
Secondary, also some new faces there. Yep. A windy day today. Were they capitalizing on that, kind of jumping on anything early, or just?
Well, we should have had a pick on the first snap of the scrimmage, but our guys were very, very aggressive. You need to go look at the film to see just how well we played or didn't play in the secondary, but I'm sure there's some positives.
Last question I have: the growth in general over the last few weeks. How has that made you feel?
Well, I'm excited. I mean, you don't. I think I saw a thing the other day with 97% of our offensive production was out there on pro day from last year, and so you're a little unsure going into this, but as you sit here 3 weeks in, I feel very excited about our roster. Certainly it's not finalized yet, but I feel good about the pieces we do have here, and excited to see how everything finishes up next week.
Mike Houston there. Garrett Short, WNCT Channel 9 there, conducting the interview after practice on Saturday. All right, we need to get a break in. When we return, we have a stat to consider that Shirley brought to my attention regarding Allie Burleson, and I have part 2 of that stat. So we'll leave you on a cliffhanger there. Burley, awesome game on Sunday. A little history for the Cardinals. We'll get to that, but right now we'll make you a winner.
Booty, 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 booty everywhere. Booty, 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 booty everywhere.
Oh, always good to get the week started off right. And you can do that right now by being a winner. Our first show here in April. So everybody is eligible for the prize. Shirley, what are we giving away?
A $15 gift card, courtesy of AJ McMurphy.
All right, AJ's the place to be. All throughout the week, but especially Wednesday nights, 8 o'clock. When we have sports trivia. Looking forward to watching some baseball out there this Wednesday. We'll have some playoff hockey soon coming up later on this month, as the Hurricanes will be a part of that. And then later on, some playoff basketball as well. All right, what caller are you looking for?
I'm going to go with caller 8.
Caller 8, 317-1250. We're back with more Pirate Radio Live on a Monday after this.
There's nothing more important than protecting your family. Fire ants can cause painful allergic reactions and even death. Protect your loved ones at home where you should feel the safest. Visit pesttechofgreenville.com to learn of our once-a-year treatment to guarantee you stay fire ant free. Tested and proven effective by your Eastern North Carolina exterminating professionals at Pest Tech of Greenville. Mention the crying baby for an extra 10% off.
Do you want to get rid of wrinkles, tighten and lift your skin, smooth your skin texture, erase veins and brown spots, get rid of unwanted hair and under-eye fat pads? Are you interested in Botox or filler? Contact the licensed professionals at Beauty Bar MediSpa for a free consultation and ask about our newest technologies and treatments. Learn more at beautybarmedispa.com. Red Banks Road, Greenville. Enjoy your visit, love your transformation, and go Pirates!
Country Mart has been locally owned and operated for over 40 years and is your premier country store serving the best cheese biscuits and country food around. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Both Country Mart locations are top-of-the-line fuel stations serving Shell gas, including 93 ethanol-free high-octane gas. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food in your engines with great gasoline. Go Pirates!
North Carolina State Parks invites you to enjoy camping your way. With the weather changing, booking your own cabin is the perfect solution for your camping getaway. Reserve campsites or cabins today at Jones Lake, Goose Creek, and Cliffs of the Neuse. Whether you enjoy traditional camping or air-conditioned cabins that can be rented with Wi-Fi, your next adventure can include hiking, beautiful scenery, and sunsets by the campfire. For information on booking a cabin, visit ncparks.gov.
Have you ever seen those exotic aquariums like the guys do in Las Vegas on television? You ever thought about having one of these aquariums in your business? It's more affordable than you think. This is Hal Pruitt with rentafishtank.com. We can make having an aquarium in your business turnkey with no work, cleaning, or hassles for you. Rentafishtank.com creates a relaxing atmosphere and keeps children occupied. Rentafishtank.com already services many dental, pediatric, and doctor offices, plus hospitals and senior living centers. Check us out at rentafishtank.com.
Before anyone walks into your business, the outside is what they see. Make sure your first impression is a good impression with the right curb appeal. Hi, this is Daniel Andrews from Dan Andrews Lawn Service. We specialize in making your business look great. Let us handle all your professional landscaping needs. We do it all so you don't ever have to worry. Residential services are also available. Call us today at 717-8006 and we'll come out and give you a free quote. Taking care of your landscaping needs is all we do, and we've been doing it for over 20 years. You can trust our reliable team at Dan Andrews Lawn Service, covering all of Eastern North Carolina.
Do you have any real estate questions about buying or selling residential or commercial properties? Are you curious about this current real estate market? Do you need a property manager for all your rental houses? This is proud ECU alum Scott Harris with RE/MAX Preferred Realty and SD Harris Properties, and I would love to help answer every question you have and show you a real estate experience that will be memorable and enjoyable. Every step of the way, I'm here to make your dreams a stress-free reality. Call me today at 347-1857. That's 347-1857. Go Pirates.
Here with Jeff Stein at Brown & Wood. Jeff, how can you help people with service in 2023?
We continue to offer free pickup and drop off for the customers, and our customers' time is valuable. So we've added 3 additional Express Lube technicians to reduce wait time. That's our #1 goal for 2023. And please don't forget, we service all makes and models. We're voted #1 in Greenville by the customer. Come see us at 329 Southwest Greenville Boulevard. Brown & Wood, 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 rooftops, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
Hi, this is Brian Meador from East Carolina Athletics. You're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. To get the business services that are right for your business today, contact the team of experienced local bankers at First Bank. The team includes bankers you can trust like Ashley Capps, Lee Watson, Bonner Latham, Chris Richards, Josh Hooten, and Heath Nesbitt. First Bank, together with their customers, they're creating a world where individuals and communities thrive. First Bank on Arlington Boulevard in Greenville. And congratulations to Jeff Dover of Greenville. Got a $15 gift card to AJ McMurphy's. The best place in Greenville to unwind after work and have fun is AJ's. They have daily food and drink specials and an awesome patio, perfect for some outdoor dining. There's something for everyone every weeknight, including sports trivia with our very own Clip Brock on Wednesday nights. And AJ's has live music every Friday and Saturday with no cover and brunch every Sunday. Make today an AJ's day. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip.
I want a buffalo chicken wrap from AJ's right now. But I reckon I'll wait till Wednesday.
Are you off the chicken cheesesteak train for now?
No, I'm not off the train. Just the mood I'm in right now. If I was going to AJ's, I would get the buffalo chicken.
The buffalo chicken wrap is
my mood and buds of taste could change between now and then. I'm sure they will a few times. Last week I went with nachos. The previous week I went tuna tacos. So it's just, whatever mood I'm in.
Put some stank on it.
I put a little stank on it.
You put a little bit of stank on it.
And that I just like that sauce. I don't know if it's sriracha, whatever it is that comes with the tuna tacos. I love that stuff. I could house it.
Knock it back.
Yeah.
Straight to the dome.
Shooter. Stat to consider.
Stat to consider. The stats to consider.
Burley man, Alec Burleson, had 3 extra base hits yesterday, a homer, and 2 doubles. He is just the second St. Louis Cardinal since World War II to have a game with 3+ extra base hits in the first 25 games of their career. That's a stat to consider. I love stats like this, but when I see stats like this, I always wonder, well, give me the rest of the story. Who's the other guy? Who's the second player to do it? The other player was a 2-sport athlete. This is before your time, Chandler. I really doubt you get this. I don't think Shirley will know either, but maybe one of you.
2 points, 2-sport athlete?
Yeah, he played for remember him for the Cardinals, but also played for the Braves and the Falcons. It's not Deion Sanders. And he's not like a Bo Jackson, Deion. He was a good player, obviously a great athlete to play 2 professional pro sports, but did not have the name recognition that those guys had. Do any of you out there know it before I say it? I might just leave it hanging for a minute. Who is that 2-sport athlete that played for, and Johnny's already got it. That answer is BJ, Brian Jordan.
Brian Jordan.
Was part of the Braves TV broadcast, pregame, in-game, up until this year. That is correct, Johnny. Johnny also asking, will today's Brian Bailey show be on Spotify later? Can you upload that, Shirley?
Sure.
All right, Johnny, just for you. In fact, we'll just email it to you, so you're the only one. You'll get an exclusive listen. Yes, we will update that and upload that for you. So you can check out his interview with Jules Montaner, ECU DB coach, who joined him on the show today. So Alec Burleson in some good company there. I was talking to Mully on Saturday, and we were looking at I was looking at the box score, and I said, Burley 0 for 4. Well, he didn't strike out, so he got the bat on the ball. And Mully said, well, I think that'd be a good day in Little League. I don't think they're looking and saying, he didn't strike out, that's a good day. I'm like, Mully, I'm just saying, man. I'm just giving you a little insight on his day. I'm just looking at the box score. He does have a low K rate, which I think is important to bring up. And I get what Mully, I wasn't like celebrating his 0 for 4 day. I was just adding a little context. I know it's not good. I agree with you, Mully. 0 for 4 is not good, but didn't strike out. I tell you what, I had a ball yesterday. because I spent most of my day with Mike Mullis.
Yeah.
And the way he works a room, controls a conversation, the insight, the jokes, the back and forth, I couldn't imagine a better day.
Yeah.
I enjoyed my day with the Mully Man. And he's such a great guy. He came and he hung out with me at the Murphy Center as I was telling people where their tables were, and then left before Dale Murphy started talking. But I had fun with Mully, even though he likes to give you the snub every now and then.
He likes to go against the grain a little bit.
He is against the grainer 100%. But, yeah, I had fun talking to him yesterday. Asked him about Houston's field. It's like, Mully, this thing, what an eyesore. This is terrible. He was like, well, no, it's not that bad. I mean, but he did say, I heard. Now you asked him as well.
Yeah.
And I heard him say it's not the most aesthetically pleasing thing, which is definitely not. There's like, was it a black mound?
It's a black
There's
mound.
red places.
Just around the bases, and it's all, I mean, it's green everywhere except around the bases and home plate.
It just looks so fake and artificial because it's fake and artificial. But he said down there in Houston, like with the droughts, the heat and everything, you know, how much money would you spend? What would their grass look like? It'd be like yellow.
Dead all the time.
Yeah, brown. And he said, you know, if he was running an organization, had a team, had a decision-making process to go, grass or turf, and I think he was saying anywhere in the world, anywhere here in the States, he would go turf just because of the upkeep and the money you spend with natural grass. Yeah. So I don't know. It definitely doesn't look right. And we've talked to the players about it. If we're able to get them on Wednesday on the Players Lounge, I'll ask them about it again. But I don't know. It just looks completely different than what we see at Clark LeClaire Stadium.
Yeah, and when it comes to that stuff, you know, in sports, I'm more of a traditionalist, I guess. I want there to be real grass and real dirt. And the Panther, like, I didn't know it was going to bother me when they announced it, but when the Panthers switched from real turf to artificial turf, and watching a few games now for about 2 or 3 years now that they've had it, I don't like the way it looks. I don't know. It looks fake and artificial because it's fake and artificial.
Yeah.
And players don't like it. Shaq Thompson, the longest tenured Panther currently on the team, he talks about how much he hates playing on it. It's like playing on concrete, he said sometimes.
Well, it's not their decision. They play in a soccer team stadium, so they.
And it was also David Tepper wanting, you know, you don't have to worry about tearing up grass whenever they want more concerts. They want concerts there, and so, you know. Yeah.
I was joking, by the way, saying that main stadium is for soccer. It should be for football, but they did go turf and change some of the seating too, right? For the
They've
soccer
got like
stuff.
a lounge in one of the end zones.
Yeah.
They've got like a little VIP lounge or whatever. So yeah, there's been some changes.
Speaking of being a traditionalist, I hated Saturday seeing the Nationals wearing their City Connect, which are like dark grays, and the Braves wearing their dark blues, and they like look the same. And man, that's my one real old man sports take. Baseball teams should wear white on white at home, gray on the road.
I agree with is it the city on the road and your nickname at home?
It is.
I remember growing up watching Nationals. That's what they wore.
Braves at home on the white, and then Atlanta gray on the road.
Yeah. Nationals had Washington in cursive, or maybe it was Nationals on the road uniform. I used to like that. So I'm kind of there with you on that when it comes to like old school jersey.
Doesn't bother me as much in other sports, but it does in baseball for whatever reason.
In football, it doesn't bother me as much, but in football, like the Panthers' first 4 or 5 home games, they wear white.
Yeah.
I've never liked wearing white at home.
And Washington when I grew up, wore white at home. They were one of the few teams to do it, and I liked it. And it was an eyesore for me when they started wearing colored uniforms at home. Yeah. So, but they were one of the few teams to wear the whites at home. Fascinating discussion, I know. Let's take our final break. We'll come back. You're ready to wrap it up here on a Monday edition of Pirate Radio Live. We are back with you after these words.
You know, texting while driving is dangerous. That's not new information. Yet most people admit to doing it anyway. Drivers are 23 times more likely to be involved in a car accident while texting. Know the facts and wait to text. The danger is real and it applies to you. Auto Owners Insurance, the no problem people. Information provided by Virginia Tech Transportation Institute.
This is Norm Bryant with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates.
It's bow time. Sometimes the craving for Bojangles Supremes is so strong you've just gotta have them. Even when your gas tank is on empty and Bojangles is still 10 miles down the highway. Nothing beats the flavor of Bojangles' juicy golden Supremes, especially when they're part of a perfect combo with 4 boldly seasoned chicken Supremes, a made-from-scratch biscuit, fixin', and some legendary iced tea. The only thing that can satisfy your hunger is that delicious southern flavor. So when the craving is supreme, put the pedal to the metal. It's bow time.
The Buccaneer Music Hall is your beacon of music in the land of the Pirates. They're open every day and have live music every night, along with 18 big screen TVs to watch all your favorite sporting events. Tuesday, it's karaoke with DJ Captain Morgan. Wednesdays, it's line dancing. Thursday night is the dance party with DJ Kid Scene. And live music every Friday and Saturday night with the best bands on the East Coast. Follow the Buck on Instagram for more information on scheduled events, and we'll see you at the Buck.
There's a common misbelief today that to make it further, you need to push yourself, that you need to give up any joy to continue your rigid routine. Or you could try another way. Take some time to enjoy life, like having a Michelob Ultra with friends, because happiness is essential to living an exceptional life. Michelob Ultra, a refreshing and balanced flavor with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Michelob Ultra, proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989.
This is Talbot Green, and I'm excited to announce our new partnership with Integrity Home Mortgage. Integrity Home Mortgage offers a wide variety of programs ranging from conventional, government, and portfolio loans, plus construction and lot loans. Our Integrity Home Mortgage team of Talbot Green, Braxton Green, and Joanne Weir offer over 50 years of experience and is committed to providing you with superior customer service.
To get started, call me, Joanne Weir, at 531-1148.
Joanne Weir, in MLS 75974. For informational purposes only, Integrity Home Mortgage Corporation is an equal housing lender in MLS 208516.
Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in Eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro, we are the professional office systems people.
You've worked hard to make your business successful, and that's why it's really important to always have a bank in your corner when you need them. This is former ECU baseball player Ashley Capps from First Bank, and our experienced team of local bankers includes Lee Watson, Bonner Latham, Chris Richards, Josh Hooten, and Heath Nisbet. To get the business services that are right for your business today, come and see someone on our team at First Bank on Arlington Boulevard here in Greenville. First Bank, together with our customers, we're creating a world where individuals and communities thrive.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Chico's Mexican Restaurant is where the fiesta never ends. Grab your amigos and head to Chico's every Wednesday for shrimp tacos for only $9.99. Plus Wednesdays means all Mexican imports for just $2.99. Thursdays, enjoy your favorite beef, chicken, or vegetable fajitas for only $9.99. For Mexican food and fun, it's got to be Chico's Mexican Restaurant in downtown Greenville and online at chicosrestaurant.com. Chico's, where the fiesta never ends.
This is Brian Bailey, host of The Brian Bailey Show, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. It was a mixed day for the stock market today. The Dow was up 327 points and closed at 33,601. The NASDAQ, however, dropped 32 points, finished at 12,189, and the S&P rose 15 points at 4,124. That's your Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Report. For a personal look into investing, call Wells Fargo Advisors today at 756-6900 in Greenville. Wells Fargo Advisors, LLC, member SIPC. Now back to the show.
Oh,
here's Clip.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were going to say my name or not. That is Shirley Rose, Chandler Honeycutt here also on a Monday, and we'll be back with you Tuesday, 3 o'clock for an all-new edition of Pirate Radio Live. Thanks to John Rosengren. Enjoyed my conversation with him. His book, The Greatest Summer in Baseball History, regarding the 73 season. It was a fun chat with him. Also, you heard LRB one-on-one with Dale Murphy. Brian Bailey joined us, as well as Bryce Harman. Back with you on Tuesday. Mike Schwartz will join us at 3 o'clock, so tune in to hear from the head basketball coach of the Pirates. We'll talk to you again Tuesday at 3 on an all-new edition of Pirate Radio Live. Jeff Charles, take us home.
Have a great night, Eastern Carolina.
Thanks for listening to Pirate Radio Live, an exclusive presentation of the voice of the Pirate Nation. This is Pirate Radio.